Oh, well, that. There we go. First, Jesus Christ. We're not even 60 seconds in and you're here. Oh, damn. Okay. All right, you two. Shit. Shit. I'm literally just sitting there like, all right, let me get my shit all moved around. I look over. I'm just, whoa, okay. People got peeps here already. Like, all right. All right. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Yeah. It's a big old lump of amazingness right there. Ugh. Get all these, like, little energies out of me. All right. Well, as we get something going now. I was scrolling TikTok and it popped up. Nice, nice. Notification hitting it. Oh, there it is. Zip, zip, zip. What to do, what to do. All that good shit. Come on, get in here, bitch. Get the fuck in here. There we go. Get the fuck in there, Wanda. Boy, what the fuck could tell you. Still with the wall color. Wow, like, shocker. It's not going to change. What, do you think that if you, like, popped in the next stream that I'd do, it would, like, what, be, like, purple or something? I was scrolling info about people are saying, so I need it out. I hoped. Well, it's called you're renting an apartment out. I don't think that's just something you can just do. So, I don't know. Might just want to get used to it. There we go. It's obviously gay furry. I mean, you only got one, if it correct, furry, but I'm bi. Only half gay. It's like, fuck you very much. Only half of my tenure, in sexual proclivities goes towards the male persuasion. What's this? What? I don't know why I wanted to be posh about that, but I did. So, there's that. Except Sunday. Yeah, fully gay Sunday, you know what I mean? Definitely. I mean, you gotta, like, have the fully gay Sunday, especially for the Holy Lord, you know what I mean? You gotta, show the support for your Holy Christ. I mean, no. I don't think I will. I don't think I will there, bub. You a girl? No. Though you said that like it's just a fucking, like, statement. What, are you gonna force transition me or something? Yeah, get my bowl going here. Give my brain a little bit more use of shit. Pawn is a gay smoking dad. No. And like, if it's so gay to you, then how come it's like like why are you so vested in that? Do you like the look of a man's fucking lips just parked around in a little circular shape? Is that something you just love to think about a lot? There we go. Blah. I'll tell you this much, at least I use a proper fucking lighter. Right on kicks homosexual. Fuck me if I know. Because you gotta do a lot of soaking, especially to get that good old hit. Probably smoking shit hillbilly weed. No. I live in a recreational legal state. Why would I go out in the boonies where some rando is growing it? I literally don't need to do that. Plus, they come in nice little, awesome containers. So nice and shiny and so gold. Ooh. No, close my bone string. Like, no one was implying that I'm being cool or not, just on that virtue. I just do that because I do that. I don't care if it's like cool or not. I don't give a fuck. I mean, your weird little like quip didn't really land that well. Where are you from? The PNW, which is pretty much literally like kind of hellscape right now. Which I kind of knew was gonna happen. Like all this smoky fucking shit. Like it was like legit when pretty much a good chunk of the world was like going for heat dome wave shit. Then the wildfires, were like going on out in the east and shit. Or and just the PNW in general is just fine. But now, of course, now we're all like in the pits of hell. So that's just amazing, awesome sauce, good shit. Yeah, just that back of it. There we go. So if I ever come bowl by one, well, I could do one. Might as well.
So cute, so cute, so cute.
What are you, Eric Cartman?
I want to be cute like you.
I hope these people also just know that they're helping me with my watch hours, which I did check earlier today. I have 10 left. I have like 10 more hours till I can like apply for that eligibility. I'm just like, oh my fucking god, like come on. I'm like right there. I'm literally like right there. I mean, it's like, come the fuck on. But I will say, like, with today being pretty celebratory in my mind, with the epic victory of Elsaya, not like the clobber stomp that I was or wanting, but still good. Most people try to be Rage Base Strangers Part 2,407. Damn, yeah, for real. What's your favorite movie? I'd say like more of like a little bit of like a series of movies, the Terrifier movie series. They're coming out with a fourth one and the final one to wrap up the Terrifier series, and I caught up to it the other day. I'm a sucker for like slasher films and kind of like psycho killer films, shit like that when it comes to horror. And I love Art the Clown, honestly. He's such a crazy, weird motherfucker. Never heard of it? Well, I'll just say this much. If you're not really into like horror gore slasher shit. And I mean like legitimately like it's gory fucking shit. Like I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. But I like it. It's some good movies. Your horror movie? If that's the case, then I'm probably like one of the worst horror films to ever exist. My badge cam? Do you mean a body cam? Huh? You good, bro? Watch the it's real movie and classic horror film. I typically don't go for horror, but I really like documentaries. I mean, I could enjoy a pretty good documentary. There's one about the Sky King that I didn't quite finish up, but I got like halfway through it before I went to bed. But it's a pretty good documentary that kind of goes in some more detail about. I think his name was like Richard Brosseau or something like that, or like Max something like that. I forgot exactly what his name was. It was like an incident that happened, I think, in like 20. I'd like to think 2015 or 2016. It was like about a decade ago. It's a British Irish fantasy horror film directed by George Pavlov, based on Clive Barker's short story from his books. It's about an ancient bloodthirsty demon unleashed in the Irish countryside, leading to a rampage. American story must stop. Interesting. I start letting immigrants back in. I'm gonna start a restaurant called Titties and Tacos. Based. I like that. It's just like Hooters, but instead it's just tacos and like pupusas, enchiladas, tamales, burritos. Hell yeah, bro! I'm here for it. Then just literally watch like every right wing like boomer chub be like, oh yeah, look at these Latino babes, while like also proceeding to get mad that they are coming into this country or something. I'm just like, you goddamn sexy Latinos, I can't take them, but I'll definitely go to Titties and Tacos and tell you what, brother. It's like, what the fuck? Because it's true. It would totally happen, man. Kuzus, but also mini tacos instead of wings. Well, yeah, like little mini tacos. Well, basically just have street tacos. Because those are already like small. Like, they're about year round and shit. Like 2 inches or something at most. Like, there you go. You get like, you can get bigger tacos. You get like the street style ones. They're small. You can create your own. But that's how I'm kind of looking at it a little bit. Make it also like somewhat of a fun interactive like menu where it's like you can create your own like tacos or burritos and shit. You know what I mean? Create your own tamale or something. You get it? Well, I mean, you don't think I have pitched weird shit like this before as well? There's times where I'll go on like straight little like stoner ponderings and musings and shit about weirdest little shit like this. Especially if me and one of my mods, Rose, I swear to fuck, it's always like most of the time him and I are always concocting crazy shit, and we just like go pinball back and forth on some insane stuff, and we're always like, God damn it, Hollywood, you need to be hiring us. Or be like, God damn it, we need to get in the restaurant business or some shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, God damn it, why aren't we doing this? This is the moneymaker right here. You fucking know it would. And yet, it's just no one with a lot of fuck you money is cool enough to do it. It can't just be like some mom pop thing that's just like, in a corner in some random town. It has to like, we got to make it grow. We need to invest in like multiple spots like all at once to get that shit going, Can't just like start up as like a food truck or something. It's like all guys go, no breaks, you know what I mean? Like you got to go all in or not all. And I, for one, am here for the Titties and Tacos franchise. I feel like Titties and Tacos won't be a good brand name for it, though, so I feel like that would need a rework, but we can work something out. I think there's a way to do that. Trying to think. Would it be a good, like, a beautiful, but also, like, the innuendo that's in Spanish? That would be good. Like, you know, the central flower, you know, like this, you know, like, I don't know. I feel like something with a flower and tacos or something. I don't know. Or like the sun and moon tacos, you know, sun, moon. I don't know. I'm just trying to spitball some shit here a little bit. I would say baller tacos or something like that, but that just is too sports themed. Vulva tacos. But that's just like literally too right on the nose though. Whoa, what? Chi-Chi's tacos? That works. Chi-Chi and Tata's tacos? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I just got it. Tata tacos. Tata tacos, dude. Oh my god, that's it. Tata tacos. Oh my god, that's it. That's it right there. I don't think we need to just literally Tata tacos. There you go. Boom, that's it. That's it right there. Simple, perfect. And to most people, it's just going to be like Tata tacos. You know, they're not going to think much of it until they go inside, right? Yeah, but hey, dude, that's it right there. That's fucking it. I will not say anything otherwise. I refuse to hear anything else. That's it. Yep, Tata, that's it. Yep, exactly. I'd exclamation point at the end of tacos, though, but that's it. That's it right there. Because you need a little excitement, you know? Oh my god, that's perfect. Oh, that was so perfect. You know, give it some time. You know, something pops in. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Because that right there, that's it. And also, my god, why are you in like all caps going like, I don't even know. Like, you good? Like Mexican Hooters? Well, that's pretty much the premise, yeah. But we gotta do it a little bit more than just that. I was, you know, that's what I was thinking. You know, like the whole create your own burrito, create your own taco menu, where it's like interactive and shit. You know, I feel like it needs to be more than just that and have a little extra oomph. Super Hoodoo nachos. Well, but the thing is, that's too close to like Hooters, and that feels like that'd be more like, hey, you're kind of taking our thing. You know, even though they're not really much of a thing anymore. So, we gotta woke it up, bro. We gotta be woke and make it Latino. And besides, like, unless you're just straight up gay, which, hey, whatever, I'm fine with that. Hey, you gotta love those gay Latinos as well. But I'm just saying, bro, we don't love like a thick, you know, Dami Mommy Latina. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you don't, there's something wrong with you, okay? I'm just saying. Congrats to El Duda Sayed. Fuck yeah. You know, I named the stream partially to that, and here we are just talking about tacos and Mexican Hooters and shit, and we're not even getting into what we were initially wanting to get into. Is this guy good? Is he okay? Since everything in life is commerce, suck it like you're mad at it. Are you okay? I literally do not know what the fuck you're trying to say. Like, you good, homie? Sorry, them Dom Mommy Latinos off yours. Go ahead, escape my last one. Okay, I had to escape in the middle of the night, fly 2,000 miles away. I hope that you're not being serious, because if so, then she's not exactly the one I'm talking about. I mean, hey, thick Dom Mommy Latinos, you know, like, it's just the main foundation. You can still have one that's actually fucking crazy and shit. Like, crazy bitches exist regardless if they were cool, cute, thick, Dom Mommy, whatever the fuck. Well, not cool, but you know what I mean. It's like, she'd find if she wanted to. Yeah, I mean, if it's like that, dude, where you had to do that, bro, if she's that like intense and desperate to like find your ass, she will fucking do it. I mean, she's the one you're talking about. They're all crazy. I mean, but it's a spectrum of it. You can't, find the one that's like, sociopathic. You got to find the one that's crazy that will like, that will like literally get in a fight with a bitch, because she looked at your man wrong or something. You know what I mean? Like, but then we'll just like ride that, be like, you're mine, or something. You need one of those. You don't want one that's like, you're mine and I will literally kill you if you leave me. You don't want that. Unless that's what you're into. I don't know, but it's a gradient. It's a spectrum. You got to get the ones that are on the good spectrum, where a lot of the crazy really comes out in the kink and sex part, usually. You know what I mean? Or just other variables, like she goes hard in a mosh pit because she loves to like fucking metal or something. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Because crazy can be good, but you got to find the right crazy. Escape. Alright, let's see. Just let it all go. Just dip out. Well, Joe Dirt. What's the actor's name? I might give you points if you actually know what his name is. Just let it happen, man. Just let it happen. Well, you gotta let it happen to the right one, you know what I mean? To the right one. But in order to find that, you gotta gauge that crazy, like that crazy radar of yours, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you gotta find the crazy to find the crazy. If you ever see me with a crazy torta, just know I'm right where I want to be. There you go. David Spade. It took you a while to answer that. I feel like you looked that up. But I'll give it to you. I do consider him kind of a celebrity lookalike anyway, so. That's why I do actually kind of. I definitely looked it up. Oh my god, you cheeky fuck. I knew it. Well, you don't get the points then, you bitch. But I'm not gonna lie, I definitely, consider him a celebrity lookalike of mine. It's been a topic on here before about like which celebrities I kind of look like the most, and to me, even like if you look at pictures of him now, I could see myself like kind of seeing him as like a family member of some sort, like an uncle or like a close cousin or some shit. Double honest, yeah. Honestly, I'll give you points back just on the virtue of being honest about it. Most people will never admit to that. Are you doing weed? I don't know. Am I? What's it do ya? Are you a cop? Are you a Bolton narc? Oh! Can you sound like Mater? What, from like the movie Cars? What, so basically just sound like Larry the Cable Guy? It's just stylistic CPAP machine. Yeah, that's pretty much just what it is. He's someone that bongs. Just kidding. I was just about to say that it's very disgusting, and I don't know why you'd ever do that. And would that even? I don't. Would that even work? I don't want to know. But all I know is that there are some motherfuckers out there that just straight up like, will do anything, to get that hit if they don't have a pipe. So I don't know. Maybe there's people who've done it like that. What's up, Bonnie? Danny Cook sees Terminator. There's a new Terminator. the state you're in. You know, I actually wanted to show something off. I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi hotspot up right now so I can show Google Maps. Because this shit's, you want to see, but you want to see it in a certain perspective. So you find the maps. Alright. That. You just let it load. Actually, no, not that. Let's get the air quality. Yeah, like that. Oh my god. So I live in the Pacific Northwest, and you want to know what it looks like right now? Here's the air quality index. We literally are in hell. That's hell. That's literally just fucking hell right there. And then that's just the rest of the United States just abroad. And you can kind of see like what the fuck we're dealing with right about now. And there goes all my notifications. Not even over here in like the East it's that bad. It's just literally, it's just fucked over here. And here's a little bit like more specifically closer and including the wildfires that are near me. One of them I think is called the Little Creek Fire Mount Hood, and that's that gigantic like death purple bubble right next to Portland pretty much. Oh my god, these notifications got it. There we go. Oh, it's called the Grasshopper Fire. And then there's Round Butte Fire and the Bench Fire. Which, those two are pretty much one main fire. Which is that. And they're big. I'm all the way down South Florida. Smoke's visible in the Midwest. Yeah. I mean, look at the fucking air quality index. It goes, look, it literally goes out over here and shit. Like, all of the PNW is just covered in this shit, dude. I mean, even in Utah, they got a massive fucking wildfire. Look at that. Look at that shit. And I mean, if you really expand out, this is literally just what the air quality index looks like abroad in the U.S. If you can kind of see that little blob of like kind of gray, including Canada as well with their fires. And I guess there's a fire near Sacramento. You know, like California actually ain't even really being hit with wildfires at all. They only have like two main ones. The Feliz fire, which is really small, and actually pretty much mostly contained from what it says. And then there's the Gan fire, which is just this little bubble in the midst of all this other bullshit. But at least California is getting a break, I guess. Oh my fucking god, how many fires are in Oregon, dude? The Hagen fire, the Tartar and Fox fires, the Big Grass fire, the fucking Coleman Creek fire, Bald Mountain fire, 0497 Henry fire, which is 92% contained and still fucking big. Second Flat fire, Shingle fire, the fucking Crosswhite fire, the Roe Creek fire, Bench fire, and then Grasshopper fire. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Like a fuckload of them. There's even Dale fire, which is in like near, more closer to the coast. So there's that too. The islands are strictly responsible for the fires, and they have an alliance truce with Cali. Nah. No, they're getting wildfires too and shit. In fact, hold on. Let me, because I'm pretty sure there was a couple over in their area. Oh yeah, no, Idaho's got fires. In fact, the Tartar fire is literally on the Oregon and Idaho border. It's on both sides of Oregon and Idaho. And then there's the Bob Creek fire that's in Idaho. There's the Cascade fire, the North Fork Lost Horse fire. There's the Moose Mountain fire. And then Bobcat Lakes fire. They got some fires going on. The rest of them got for the Spokane fires, I've heard. Oh, really? Yeah, because Washington's getting fucked too. There's a little giant fire, and then there's the Kaiser Canyon fire, which, oh Jesus. Nespalim, which is a town, is literally in the middle of all this. I'm pretty sure that town is no longer a town. I'm pretty sure it's just gone. Another gender reveal gone wrong. I swear to God, if it is that, that shit actually unironically needs to be banned, like, full stop. I'm not even joking. Like, I am not on the virtual. I accidentally clicked the notification and went oop. Hopefully it didn't stutter too bad there. But, like I was saying, do we need to, like, straight actually unironically ban these fucking gender reveals, like, unironically? Because if they have legit people killed, it's, like, caused wildfires, it's, like, like, all sorts of insane shit where people get hurt and stuff, it's like, nah, fuck that shit, bro. Like, it needs to go. It needs to go. It's ridiculous. Should 5 with 5 flamethrowers. No. It's ain't like MW2 where it's like how you burn out a flame with a bigger flame. Snuffs out the oxygen, kills it. It's like, no. Like, so no one ever when it came to fighting wildfires. Sometimes I have fun with Surprise Logan. I mean, actually, that wouldn't be too bad of an idea. He's like kind of partial on his way back from the coast, but I think he's taking a nap in his car, like at a rest spot or at least somewhere, because he called me up not that long ago, like a couple hours ago, being like, yeah, I'm like fucking tired and kind of a little panicky about like, what do I do here? And I was like, honestly, if you feel like it's safer for you to just like, just be on like some corner, on the side of the road where you're just chilling, and you can keep your car on a little bit just to, charge your phone, keep that shit going and all that. You got your dogs, you got food, like, nothing wrong. Just literally sleep. That's way healthier and safer than trying to push it, because if that's the case, don't do that. You know what I mean? So it's like, just play it safe. He's like, yeah, sure, you're right. We're going to keep talking more, but then his mom called and he's like, hold on, I'm going to talk to her. I was like, okay. And then he just immediately hung up. I was like, all right, that happens. But between like last night and the last few days, it's kind of gotten a little trashed out. So honestly, a lot of it's mostly just like loose cans and other bullshit. It's not really that much to deal with, honestly. Just some like my instincts are just like, ooh, I just want to come into it. Yeah, I get you. And frankly, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea just in general. Just, because, like, I mean, at least for me, I just like, when I tidy stuff up a little bit, at least for random shit out here, I'm kind of like, where the fuck do I put it? Because I don't know where Logan really wants this, so I at least, find a spot that's better than where it is, but I'm just like, I don't know what to do with that. You can move it, I just have it set in a better space, but that's it. I will say I need paper towels though, because he hasn't gotten any and I haven't, and we need to do that. I mean, what time is it right now? I mean, it's getting a little late. I don't know. I mean, it's hypothetical. I would just have to do a part 2 maybe and like hit a Winco. Take the bus to do that and shit. Get a ShamWow. Actually, I don't even need that. I got a bunch of microfiber cloths that I got from work because we can't use them at work. But my boss has like a whole bag of them, and I just literally took a bag from our work and just shoved it full of them. So let me add it; it'll be done. Oh, don't worry. It's frankly, it's not even that much. Microfiber should work. Oh, they definitely do. I mean, it's like similar to like a cloth like this. Only this isn't one of them. This is one of the ones that he had. But I just use this as more of like, I'm just gonna be blunt to blow my nose out when I wake up, and I'm just like, ugh, ugh, ugh. That's what I just use it for, and I just replace it every so often, just because obviously I don't want to like have it all like, you know. It's better than just wasting fucking paper towels, honestly. Especially just to blow my fucking nose really quick. It's just like. And I guarantee you there's probably at least like half of you that are like, you bullshit, bruh. I already know there's at least a few like subtle like internal thoughts that are like, yeah, uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. That's what you want us to think. Gonna have to watch the clean hits before bed. Oh my god. Here we go. Here we go, folks. Could be the clean fits. Well, I want to do it like right the fuck now. Need to kind of get myself in the mood for that one. I'll tell you what. Are you Muslim? No, I'm an atheist personally. I was actually about to read your comment, so my bad. Here, let me go back and read your other one. You're from Pakistan? Oh, that's pretty cool. What's up, Pakistan? Do people have issues electing Muslims? 50-50? I mean, one recently won in Michigan, Abdul Al Sayed, and then there's Zohran Mamdani. That won his election, and he's a Muslim as well, and he's the mayor of New York. So, I mean, no, but you have, on a more broader, like, national level, or, like, even in different states where that's just still, like, no. This is a white Christian nation. It's like, at that point, I'm like, have you ever read the Quran? I mean, I've read, like, bits and pieces of it. Honestly, I mean, I want to get one because I do have, like, at least two different Bibles, and for whatever reason, a Mormon one that was, like, and then I got the Rosetta, which is basically like a Norse pagan religious book, kind of run down its stuff. I got the Tao Te Ching. I mean, I got different religious books, so it's like I might as well add that. I've just never gotten around to it because it's just never really been that important to me. But if I ever stumble around one, it's like $5 or something cheap at a bookstore or a thrift shop or something, then I don't know, fuck it. Good luck getting Muslim elected in office in Kentucky. Well, that's what I mean. It's kind of a little like, kind of, yeah. But it's not really there are exceptions to the rule. Like, I would think, like, for example, in Oregon, like, if, like, the Portland City Council had, like, a Muslim, running for one of its offices, for city council or something for one of its seats, I mean, I could see that person potentially winning. I don't necessarily think they would have some sure shot, and I do think them being Muslim may potentially be used against them in a very racist way. But I don't think, that necessarily precludes them from winning. It just depends on, like, are they, like, kind of like a El Sayed / Mamdani style kind of candidate or not, What do you think about Israel? You want to know? Do you really want to know? Because as far as I'm concerned, Israel shouldn't be a thing at this point anymore. I'm kind of done with this whole two-state shit. I'm done with the idea that they deserve the right to have a nation. By they, I mean the Israeli state and people, and the culture that perpetuates and enforces that nation state via Zionism. And ethno supremacy. So fuck them. And they practically, in a lot of ways, run and own a lot of our fucking government, especially either with proxies or directly, and with proxies like AIPAC and shit, where it seems like a lot of these politicians like to suck the dick of Israel even more than like Netanyahu, like John Fetterman. Like that motherfucker literally sucks the Israeli dick way more than even like the Knesset, bro. This took America to the Iraq War. I mean, they probably were a variable in encouraging it, but it was the fossil fuel industries and a lot of our own interests in the CIA that were really helping perpetuate that. We did by literally funding Osama's family and his royal family and shit. We, in part, in the military-industrial complex, funded Al-Qaeda. And we even did directly for a time before the split with the Mujahideen, before that they split with the Taliban. So, we have directly funded this motherfucker and these different organizations. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a picture of Osama and a few other, what the fucking bug? Jesus Christ, right in my ear. Fucking, that's Hasbro, bro. That's Mossad, getting the little robot bug to try to, brainwash me, dude. It's like, oh no. Uh-oh. Make so could push this into, I don't know, probably at least 10. I'm not going to say I could do a lot or really well. Megalo's being there, it's easy to convince Americans that Asian countries are evil. Yeah, that's true. Especially more than ever because, we have pretty much demonized ourselves, and now, because even the EU, most of the world is literally going to China more directly, when it comes to economic diplomacy and other variables like that, to the point where it's just an easy scapegoat. For this administration to otherize and demonize, where it's like, it's not us that's the problem, folks. When, shocker, it literally is. We're just that good, folks. We're just so amazing, they just can't handle it. Yeah, let's just proceed to, literally threaten countries and, annexing them and shit. Visiting this whole, we're just gonna take Greenland. The Danish military and shit is literally if they even remotely try that, we are bombing the airports and some of our docks and shipyards just so they can't get in. We'll literally do that. Because fuck you. We aren't working with you anymore. Our allies aren't even really allies anymore. They're just acquaintances. That's at best. At this point, they're just they just see us as a problem. And I don't blame them. They're very standoffish and on edge. And a lot of these countries have been trying to break away from that a lot more, including Spain. That whole, little migrant invasion thing that happened, Suete or some shit, that little, enclave or exclave that Spain has, that literally has been proven to be an Israeli operation. Because, Spain dared to say that, Israel or Palestine has a right to exist. Jesus, almost had to throw this up there. And for Israel to stop committing their genocide. So basically, at least doing the bare minimum, when it comes to a nation, calling that out. And Israel's like, well, fuck you. We're literally going to fund this and, pressure, the Sultan of Morocco to actually, fund and invest in doing this whole, in kind of invasion thing, into this community, and cause a bunch of fucking chaos and strife and shit. I mean, so it's Israel is just a fucking psycho nation state, and it needs to be fucking addressed because they're even doing like psyops and warfare and shit, you know, to other nations like Spain and shit, just because they dare, you know, like speak out against them. The fuck thing is, as far as it stands right now, they can get away with it. Rabbi Dov Zakim is some Jew. Was the controller of Pentagon who's watched $2.3 trillion went missing. I mean, it goes a little bit more deeper into that because there's a lot of those within the Pentagon, including those like Stephen Miller and shit, that are really, you know, suddenly and mysteriously are massively a lot more richer too. It is because they also treat a lot of these funds like their own fucking slush fund. I mean, it's basically a crime, you know, fucking administration. It's a, you know, like a crime family autocracy. I mean, you know, because I'm not 100% sure about all that, just on the virtue because I just don't know anything about it. Like, I mean, but I wouldn't necessarily, like, be against realizing that's the case or something. Because, I mean, it at this rate, especially with how much Israel, especially when it comes to military affairs, is trying to and also is in a lot of ways interwoven into our interests and shit. Well, our interests in the sense of the United States government being interwoven and pretty much basically being a loyal dog for the Israeli state. It's like, I mean, it's something that I want to put it past. I just don't know how much of an influence that really does have, considering how blatantly and brazen that the Israeli state is when it comes to their control and dominance, at least especially in the fucking United States. I mean, Netanyahu and our politicians are practically, you know, rubbing it in people's faces, despite the popularity and the support for Israel being at an all-time low. Like Ace was just not North Korea. Yeah. But at the same time, a lot of that is like a lot of it is also on the virtue that, like, you know, the United States and our anti-communistic, you know, actions in Asia during the 50s kind of led to that situation. Which is also kind of fucked because North Korea in its early years during the 50s and 60s, at least during Kim Il-sung, was actually literally a better country than South Korea, being a fascistic military junta state. Like it legitimately was a difference. It wasn't until later down the line when things changed, but like, and there was a massive decline, you know, especially during the up to at least 80s, 90s and shit, and the 2000s. But like for a time period there, they actually, you know, in its early years was actually not a bad place to, you know, live because it was actually literally a lot more developed than South Korea for a point. Didn't last forever, but it did happen, and it was a thing. And a lot of people like to be like, no, they've always just been poor, starving, poor people who did it. It's like, I wonder why though. Could it be because there's just been this kind of back and forth antagonism between, like, you know, the North and South because of U.S. meddling, you know, just because of the original root of being like, God, stayed against communism, man. Oh, is that the fly that fucking? Oh, you're. Yeah, you bitch. Wait, where's my other hat? I'll use this as the fly swatter hat because I am not gonna be dealing with that shit. No. Kind of all stuff happen. That's not completely true. He came from a royal family, and also, you know, to an extent, the Bin Laden royal family. Like, I mean, he had money, he had funds. I mean, he helped fund and raise Al Qaeda as, you know, as an organization after the Mujahideen split. I mean, it's, you know, like he had his means. And the United States did, for a time, at least back in the 80s with the Soviet-Afghan War, help fund that. And to an extent, we did even afterwards, even with like during the war in the Gulf War, at least initially for a time, until we decided to flip the script and say no, actually Saddam was doing it. Wink. And then because that was a part of the Casus Belli to say that like, oh yeah, it's actually him, bro. When he left Sudan. Well, what he didn't grab, but he still had plenty of various different means of wealth, and also still had funders and other people that were aiding him and shit. Because of a lot of it, of what he advocated for too, especially being one of the main leaders of Al Qaeda. I mean, he still had to earn a lot of it and gain a lot of it back, but it was one of those things where he had his means and influences. I mean, he was a smart guy and was charismatic enough to understand what the hell he was doing, even if it took a while and took some strength, and if anything, took sometimes a real punch. But at the same time, it's like, how much did he really do? Just on the virtue, it's like, I don't necessarily think he, was, the main guy, at fault. Because our administration, our government was aware about what, this, about 9/11 before it happened. But our administration didn't do anything about it because it'd be in a better interest, especially when it came to the Leo Straussian philosophy of seeing, the world as a resource and asset, including allies, where it's on the virtue that, how do we maximize, the industrial complex? How do we maximize the coffers of wealth, to those who are at the top, and expand that further, and including having surveillance to ensure that we can, guarantee a stronger state of police, to those that may be against our interests, and that includes domestically too. Oh, there it is. Has been on Jewish people invading New York and New Jersey? The fuck are you on about? What? Huh? Memes can melt steel beams. And steel beams can meme dreams. I'm saying, dude, America deserved 9/11. Some Hank Pecker circa 2019. I know I missed a couple comments here. Seem intelligent. Well, I like to try to be, at least more so than the average American. Unfortunately. I want to say that because so many of us are just so fucking stupid in this country. I thought, damn, those guys flew a plane through the front door. That's pretty impressive. Fucking balls. Just people have been in New York for over 20 years, whatever. They've been in New York for fucking ever, bro. Like, unironically, it's probably, like, the safest place for Jewish people, for one, and for two, I think outside of Israel, it does have, like, the highest Jewish population in the world is in New York, and the surrounding areas of that region. So, I mean, okay, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. Like, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, outside of, we could probably, like, pinpoint and like bullet point exactly how that happened, and maybe understand some of the historical context that I don't think we need to get into. Exactly. Yeah, man, this is like the struggle of being an anti-Zionist leftist. I swear to God, because like you get people that are like actual weird, like anti-Semitic Nazi types. And then you just get people that are like, yeah, all Jewish people suck. And it's just kind of a generic blanket kind of anti-Semitism. And then there's also like just pro-Israeli Hasbro weirdo simps and shit. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's like you can never win, on this fucking thing. I suppose it's a lot easier now because now I think people generally have a better understanding of the nuance of it, but that means a lot more people at the same time are going to be a lot more hardened, with those who are trying to push their shit. The Talmud. Why? What does that have to do with anything? You can't just throw out, you guys delusional, Mao, read Talmud, bruh, and not give a reason. Plus, the Jukes are chill, in my opinion. I mean, I personally haven't met any. I've met, a lot of Ashkenazi ones, and they're usually anti-Zionists or, albeit maybe like at least pro-Israeli in a sense of like, yeah, state should exist. But they don't really think about beyond that. And at least, the ones that it's late that that have because of post-October 7th and shit like that, is yes, like they're like at least understanding that's fucked up and it shouldn't be going on. And I would say at least early on there was more of a conundrum about it, but I think at this rate they're kind of like, yeah, just kind of fuck Israel. Which good, yeah, because fuck them. Like they understand it's like, and they also hate the idea of it's like, why is my identity of being Jewish, being lumped in with this every fucking time, and it's disgusting. And they're saying that about Israel doing that, by the way, and Zionists doing that, not Semites or anything, or anti-Zionists or anything, or people like that, but pro-Zionists and pro-Israelis. She used to live in New York, told me a lot about them. The whole country is controlled by Israel. Yeah, newsflash, I'm very well aware of that. There's tons of evidence. I mean, homeboy, you don't think I know about like the USS Liberty and shit, and how like Zionism got funded and all sort of shit. Like, bruh, I think you got a lot of assumptions there, my guy. And at the same time, I feel like you're also lumping all Jewish people into this too, because that's, to me at least, a little bit of a red flag, just a little bit. Israel, yes, that's a green flag right there, because I don't disagree with that. I'm very well aware about that shit. I've been talking about that shit even before fucking October 7th happened. It was just a very harder issue, to address because it literally was like anti-Zionism was just lumped in with anti-Semitism because you just literally couldn't really speak about it without people being like, that's all Jewish people, huh? It's like, and it's like, no. Literally, it always like divert the whole conversation. But now at this point, it's more like, Now more like the other way around, where it's like now it's at a point where it's more likely that people bring it up, where it's like that needs to be sussed out. I will say it does kind of feel a little good to at least be on the other foot now on that one instead of be the one having to deal with that shit all the time. Now it's only like half the time. Think about everyone else. Yeah, when it comes to Zionists and ethno supremacists, Israelis and shit, and which yes, there are Jewish people that think that way too. But newsflash, not all of them think this way, and I've also met plenty of them that don't believe that at all. And there's various different Jewish communities that don't either. Joybait, I said hi to my cat and I saw its eyes soften. Aw. The RFK, did you see RFK bragging about not having a gag reflex? Gay? Really? I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish I had not as bad of a gag reflex because I have a terrible one. I mean, my stomach can be kind of tough, but once the gag reflex is like, bleh, once that hits, the walls are destroyed. It's like I gotta literally like hold the line hard and be like, oh fuck, get fresh air, get like a little water, and just sit there and just contemplate life before it happens. You know, like it's fucked. But at least like when it comes to like a stomach one, I can just eat shit and be fine. And not have gag reflex on certain stuff. I mean, it's fine and better, but it's also because I just generally am like, if I don't like that, and I know I'm not going to enjoy that whatsoever, I'm be like, "Bleh." It's just not going to be there. I'm not going to have it. So, I mean, I just narrowed the palate down a little bit. But I will have stuff where I'm like, I'm not a fan of, but I'll sprinkle or like put a little bit in there because it actually does add a little something to it. But at least, if it's just on its own, like, nah. Like ranch, for example, like, it's got to be like a hardcore, like, buffalo spicy style ranch or some shit, you know what I mean? Where there's some other flavors going on, and that is, like, added in other shit. It can't just be its own damn thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to, like, have, like, some other shit happen. And then there's, like, what is it? Mayo. Like, Japanese spicy mayo, for example, fucking love that shit. That's so good. But just regular old mayo, ew. Yo, what's up? Sent the clip to Discord. Oh, nice, sweet. Yeah, I'll check it out in a little bit. I'm not a fan of anyone who claiming they are the chosen people or chosen one. Thanks to the incredibly egotistical mentality I have. Well, yeah, no shit. To me, it doesn't matter, like, what group, like, whether it's, like, fucking those, like, the Nazis or, like, the Israeli Jewish supremacist types or fucking, whatever it is. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, if you're, like, trying to be, like, some ethno, like, racial supremacist, then, yeah, just go fuck yourself. I feel the person that's the toss up dead. I know what you're talking about, and that's only practiced in like very extreme Orthodox Jewish communities and shit, and it's fucked up and insane. And circumcision in general shouldn't be going on at that age. I'm against that shit, just regardless of faith reasons or whatever. Like, at a certain age when you're growing up, if you personally feel like you want to make that choice, then sure, fine. Like, you're cognizant enough to decide you want to make that decision. But, and that's how you personally feel about it, and you think it'd just be better for you, whatever. But it should not be happening at that age, regardless of whatever the fuck, especially in that type of circumstance. Bald? No. I have hair there, buddy. Use it too was disgusting. I guess all the HIV infections and diseases that were happening, end up becoming too much a problem. So the more moderate ones decided to. I mean, like, when it comes to that shit, bro, I really question how often that really is the case, when it comes to those communities. But it doesn't mean that, when it is happening or if it's still happening, then fuck that shit regardless, because it's fucked up. And it's still disgusting. Like, it doesn't matter if it's happening, like, all the time or even if it's only, like, a small portion of people. It doesn't matter. I mean, even, like, my quote-unquote compromise with it anyways, like, go to the fucking doctor when they're born there or whatever at the hospital and let that be a procedure. And even then, I'm like, no. But at least it'd be a medical setting. Because fuck your rituals. Maybe certain, traditions and rituals deserve to be left in the past. I don't know. Has everyone ever thought about that? You can keep a lot of other traditions and and shit like that, whatever, about your faith and culture and stuff. That's cool and good stuff. Like, that's fine. But like for the shit that's kind of gross and especially in this day, very at least maybe at best morally questionable or at worst just fucked. Yeah, I don't think we need to be believing in that shit quite literally anymore. I think we can like live it up and do it in a more sterilized liberal fashion instead of being fucking weird and shitty about it. You know what I mean? Because I don't think a bunch of weird like motherfuckers, that are like religious fanatics from like 3,000 plus years ago should be dictating what we're doing today, like regardless of what their background is. I don't give a fuck. That's why I'm an atheist too, to a lot of degrees, because fuck this Abrahamic religious bullshit. You can have your face, I don't care, but don't make it like some sort of like, at this rate, a global like fulcrum of like whether the global economy is surviving or not. At this fucking point, because you want to bring on the like your death cult urge of like world destruction because you think the fucking Christ or Great Israel, whatever the fuck, is gonna come, and arrive. Like, fuck your shit. Buffet's gotta respect that. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there is a part of me, I'm like, on an individualistic level and talking to people, I'm not gonna be like the Christopher Hitchens or Richard Dawkins stop being how dare you, and be smug about it. I'll just mention I don't believe it personally, but I want to at least hear your perspective about it, because honestly, I'd probably be more likely to agree and jive with them regardless of their faith, especially if we already agree about different politics and other philosophy and stuff like that and other shit already. Maybe I might not agree with every little fucking thing, but I don't give a fuck at that point. There's bigger fish to fry. You know what I mean? So, like, like when I feel like we're in a space and a society where we can actually like kind of handle that a little better, then we can go back to the, like the atheist horsemen going after like the religious types and shit a little bit. You know what I mean? Like we can have that time again, which I guess arguably kind of needed, because of all this fanaticism that's going on as well. Like it needs to be challenged to a massive degree because of the fanaticism that people have. Because also the massive major wing of support when it comes to this whole, Israeli state project and Zionism is also from Christo-fascists and Christo-nationalists and evangelical Christians alike abroad, including more liberal ones too, that are gung-ho just as much as, these fucking Jewish supremacists and Israeli supremacists are, in Israel. I mean, like, they're, if anything, more fanatic about it, because they think Christ will return if Israel establishes a state, and then their death cult urge, becomes a factor and reality to an extent, because that's literally what they're trying to fucking do. Like, so arguably, there needs to be a lot more of an aggressive pushback. And sorry to the more like actual progressive Christians and like lefty Christians and shit out there, but we gotta like have a stern like fight on that, like, and we should all stand solidarity to fight that shit. Like, because it's an organized thing. It's not like an individual thing. Like, honestly, it should be based off of. It's off of a narrative of like control, not on the true idea of liberty and pursuit of happiness that we should obviously be advocate for, including when it comes to how sometimes these fucking faiths advocate for it too. Like, it sickens me knowing that like when it comes to things like the Sermon on the Mount and things like Christ even himself, supposedly when he was alive, was teaching shit. I do agree with some of that shit. He was, like some, people on the left, I even heard, and I even say, he is kind of like a proto-communist before he was, basically, because of how much, he wanted to, help the average people and bring them up, and being selfless the way he was in a lot of ways. And going after, the moneylenders, the, false, prophets, all these motherfuckers. Like, he was stirring shit up. I mean, and it sickens me that, so many Christians today pretty much will look at him now and would probably either drone strike him or deport him and think he's a psycho commie or something. And think he's like a pseudo terrorist or some shit. Like, I mean, like if straight up, if Jesus were to come back, from the heavens in Israel or some shit, Israel will literally bomb him because he would look more closer to a Palestinian Jew, so more like a Palestinian, but just shorter than fucking, than like, the Israelis that live there. The settlers will look at him and just shoot him on sight and be like, fuck you. This isn't even your home of the Palestinian. What are you, a friend? Get the fuck out of here. You're not the friend of the... Just pop him while he's like, my child, you're my friend, and comes up to try to hug him, and he's just like, like that's just what's gonna happen. They're gonna be like, nah, you're a weird, like, fucking disgusting dog. Fuck yourself. He wouldn't even have like 2 seconds before that would happen. Like, and in fact, he would look at everything and like be like, yo, Dad, can I like get the fuck out of here? Like, fuck this. This is what I came back to. It's like, nah, fam. This is what I signed up for, bitch. Put me back. Get me out of here. You might want to flood the earth again, dude. Dad, you might want to flood the earth again. You might need another factory reset there, bro. Were you a Christian? Yes, I was born and raised as a Christian for my mom, mainly. Because she was an evangelical Christian, too. So I heard a lot of this shit growing up, by the way. And some of my mom's family friends, including through her friends through Bible college, by the way, have also taken pilgrimages to Israel and Jerusalem as well. I know a lot about it because I've grown up around it. No one ever wants to chill. It's always religion. I know. Yet meanwhile, Christian immerse for Jews. How ironic. I know, right? They ignore. God loves you and wants you back. Come on. Go back to the church. Nah. Unless I vet that church and I know it's actually like practicing what it preaches in a way that was good and shit. And is willing to at least have someone like me be willing to go out there and say, I agree with the advocacy and solidarity and shit about what's going on. And, despite my differences of my lack of faith, versus y'all's, pursuit of it, I value that this is where it goes to instead of, what I see and I look around when it's used for wrong. Because you're not the hypocrites and the false, proselytizers. You're the ones that try to practice that. Like, I'll twist it in a way that I think it would at least be positive for them. Be like, yeah. But that's the thing. I'm vetting the motherfuckers first if, when it comes to shit like that, I was born without a religion just like everyone else was. Well, yeah. But that doesn't mean that, you get raised to be Christian or not, depending on who your parents are, right? Like, if my parents were from, like, India, I guess depending on where I am from in India, I could either be potentially Muslim, Hindu, or maybe some other, minor faith that exists or something in there. You know what I mean? Like, there'd be a lot of, like, all sorts of, possibilities there. But if I was like, I don't know, Saudi Arabia, it's like, yeah, I'm going to be born and raised Muslim. Well, not born Muslim, but, being raised as a Muslim. And if I'm in, like, Greece, I'm likely to potentially be raised as, maybe not, but likely to be raised Greek Orthodox, or maybe Protestant or something, but probably Greek Orthodox. And if it's like Ukraine, it'd be probably just, Eastern Orthodox, or maybe not, but probably likely that. You know what I mean? It's like, depending where you're from, you're going to definitely have, like, some fucking, like, a likelihood of being raised in a particular faith. But that doesn't mean, always. And I kind of strangely envy, some of my friends, like, Rip City, for example, that weren't raised with religious parents and didn't really have to deal with any of that. I always wonder, what he thinks about that. Because, like, I know he knows some of my story and shit. He's heard me talk about these, things before. And it's like, I don't know. When it comes to that type of shit, I always kind of been interested about, because I don't know. He doesn't have too much of a strong opinion one way or the other about it, from at least with those particulars. My mother was a strict Catholic, more my other family. Yeah, it's kind of the same for me because my dad wasn't, really a practicing religious person. I mean, he was like, it was like religious in a sense of like being kind of a Wiccan for a while, but then wasn't practicing and then kind of was just agnostic. Now, from my understanding, he's kind of like a born again Christian because of his, fucking health issues and shit like that, and had a health scare and all this. So it's like he's, kind of, it's, I don't know, it's a whole thing, but so it's got complicated with him. But even then, he's not like fervent about it or nothing. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, it doesn't really seem like it changed him that much. I mean, I could tell it has, but it's just not by much, though. Which is kind of weird. Usually, stuff like that usually makes them pretty more fanatic about that. Because I know people who are usually like born again Christian types are very pushy and kind of fanatic about it, and arguably are a little bit more annoying than ones that are just born and raised into it. But mainly just because they're just getting into it, so it's like, one, they're all excited about it, and two, it's like they just don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they just got into it. And they think it's like, well, it did for me. Obviously, I can do it for others. It's like, you literally, like, just got convinced about this shit like a week ago, bro. You got a long way to go, dude, before you start doing that shit. Like, shut up. No, because when you have kids, will you push them into religion / teaching about it? I don't plan on having kids at all, no. And I would never do that either, if I did. And I have a niece that I'm going to be visiting at some point in October later this year. Me and my sister were talking about it the other day, and we just haven't completely set a time for it. Exactly what dates I'm going to go out there for. But I mean, even with my niece, I would never do that to her either. I mean, and my sister also, as far as I'm concerned, even with her being kind of a pagan herself, and also, like, she's kind of a multi-faith kind of belief person. I also don't know too much about what she fucking believes, to be honest, so I don't really want to, like, say what she believes. She just believes in a lot of different things. But, I do think and believe that she wouldn't, like, do that either. And as far as I can tell, I mean, she's already raising her to be a fucking badass anyway. Like, I mean, the videos, pictures I've seen of her, with her getting into shit and up to trouble, and for some reason, she has like this cabinet in the kitchen at their house where she likes to be in there for some reason. Which I'm like, that's straight up some tism right there. You find like a weird hidey hole and you just want to be in it. Because I kind of did something like that once before. It's something from like trying to going to church and mosque before. They just all sound made up bullshit to me. Well, because it is. Evolution or not, there hasn't the everyday use of the word. Well, of course. But religious folks usually try to muddy these terms in science, to especially cherry pick and nitpick about, like, to justify and enforce their ideas. Well, of course they do. And then they will, like, use, like what I was just talking about, cherry picking science to, justify a lot of that shit as well. And call it like more like a creationist science to try to differentiate itself. Because, like, yeah, the faith of science actually doesn't get it right because the creationist science, wink, wink, I mean, that's only like one term. There's like a few others too, like, like young Earth creationism / like young Earth evolution, like, or like biblical evolution theory and shit. Like, they use like various different terms to muddy, the words of science to basically be like, see, we're scientific too. and try to justify that shit and basically be like, the real science gets it wrong though, wink. See, if they actually looked at the flu and the bugaboo and didn't realize that they looked at the sun god at first second, and looked at like the damned coveted calf or some shit, then you realize it was actually God or something, bro. Yeah, it's like, or like Ken Ham's fucking like Ark Museum and shit. It's like, ugh, ugh. Where is that? Fucking Kansas or something? Or Kentucky? It's one of those unfortunate, very, very shitty states. Want to see the original Bible? Like, what does it say? Like the OG one? Well, from what I understand, like, there's actually a lot of different original books of the Bible that have been scrubbed because of this doesn't fit the narrative we want kind of shit. New King James was the most notorious one, but there's been a lot of different alterations over time. So I don't think we know how many. Well, I think we speculate we understand how many there were, and we know for a fact there's like the Book of Judas and Book of Madeline. We know there's at least a few of them that we know were like a thing, but we speculate there was more that we don't quite know from what I understand. But I do know about like the Book of Madeline and Book of Judas, and I would like to see if there is a way to find like a Bible that has those books within it, and all that shit. So that's what I don't get. If they believe that's truly the word of God, why would they need to constantly write it? This is just all I'm saying. Because it's the way to interpret. It's honestly a few different things. There's an element of mental illness and where people legit like think they're hearing gods or the word of God or Jesus or the angels, or like like there's legitimate like some mental health factors about that where they end up being kind of like religious leaders, or at least in tandem with that. And then there's also where they can like interpret and then use whatever they're seeing or thinking or whatever the fuck, and with their understanding of the original words, they can reinterpret it and be like, no, this is actually what it is. This is what's being spoken to me. It's God's will is being said and spoken to me right now. And this is what that meant, or whatever the fuck. When reading it or being spoken to you on top of what's being read. And shit like that. And also another factor is manipulation. You got those that want to have power and they know that one way to do it, and it's just like probably literally as old as like oral like story itself. When it comes to even prehistory of man, when it comes to having someone that's like, moon god say I need all banana, and in order to make sure that tribe succeed, so we must gather more banana. I'm just saying that as an example, but like it's like you got like the banana monkey tribe and the shaman. It's like, yo, I need all that banana. We need to fight that monkey tribe to get their banana because the moon god has spoken and said so, and there may be an eclipse, there may be this, and we must have all banana to have a sacrifice and to feast for our tribe. Shit like that, you know what I mean? And then those who are gold will be like, oh shit, he's saying some shit. He saw some shit, man. And just basically just be convinced enough of charisma and be like, it has been willed. We must. Because there's a chance they already, worship these things, if like polyamorous, animistic, belief systems. So if you get one that's smart enough, be like, yo, I could get an extra cut of banana and some of that meat from that boar. But I need to kind of like, go out in the woods and have like a mushroom trip or something like that, because they probably have known that too a little bit. They find those. Not to go to like Stone Age theory too much, but they probably have one of those. They're like, oh, yo, I could use this actually to get more. This would be good. And then they just become like the shaman chief leader of the tribe, True that. Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, it goes. I mean, I'm just going literally to the most core root of it all. I mean, even before these more modern religions and shit. You know what I mean? Like, because that's pretty much how it is. I mean, that's kind of how religion starts. And there's other, maybe even a mixture of different factors where mental illness and but they're cognitive and good enough to just know what they're doing and all this other shit. All sorts of different things. It's just like, I mean, that's just kind of the virtue of it. And honestly, there are people that probably do just generally believe in that shit too. They're like, oh no, yeah, that's what I just truly believe. I swear to fuck, I saw that. Or I swear that, like my little thoughts in my head, what it was the sun. It was this. Because they were just like meditating in the field one day and it's like, whoa. It's like Christianity does mostly start for political reasons. Well, that kind of gets lumped into the whole like, we got someone who wants power and control. Because that whole like, I could get a bigger cut. I could get more banana. The rest of the tribe, but tribe prosper though. But I prosper more. Little politics intermittently thing. Like, oh, that tribe have more banana than us, but the moon god said we must prosper with more banana. Because or some you know what I mean, like just little things like that. Because that really is just, if you think about it, political. It kind of gets woven into that. Which that's kind of the fourth element too, where it is like the virtue of politics, where these people probably may or may not believe in that shit at all, but understand that for the reason of politics, it's a good way to galvanize people up, to justify, why you want to go invade that country or that city state or that whatever, It is a good justifier. I mean, shit, you see it to this fucking day. It's happening now to a degree. At least with this whole fucking shit with Iran. Which, for all intents and purposes, the U.S. lost. But no one wants to really admit that. They probably lose their minds if they saw an aircraft carrier. Oh my fucking god. They literally would probably think of us as like some literal like god, like alien beings that like, and be blown away to the point of like, these are like us, but or so they would literally think of us as like actual gods. Actually, I'm not even joking. I'd say aliens, but depending on how far back we're going, they would probably literally just think that instead. I mean, if it's like, I don't know, like the 1400s, it'd probably be like, these are like, some alien realm that came from the outer planets or something. They would probably start going hella sci-fi status and shit like that. You know what I mean? Okay, that's a fun song, but no, that's a little too much. I'm down to be an alien. I mean, low key. I've always said it'd be kind of interesting to fuck an alien, but what if you're the alien? What if you're the alien? You know what I mean? Yeah, I gotta be on the other side of that one. Fun fact, the first big advantage of books, new invention in Roman times, was that unlike a scrolls, you can quickly flip around to different scripture verses during religious debates. And probably also political debates too, eventually, once it expanded from there, yeah. But I didn't actually really know that, but that's cool as fuck. Because I'm sure like books were around, before, but they weren't really like popularized because they weren't taken advantage of up until people realized like, I could just like take this fucking scroll and just like copy it all in here. Okay, that's done. Flip it around, write it on this, write on that. All right, we like, and realize like, okay, this is easier. All right, fuck Maximus Augustus Germanicus, Gallica the 8th. I'm coming at him with this fucking shit. And just go back in his center like, you motherfucker. Like, books are not real. You know what? Nothing's real. Everything's just a projection of your own consciousness. How about that? I'm not real. How about them apples? I know you. I know it's gonna be backwards, but hey, embrace chaos. This is the most cutest little fucking sticker. I don't know what I'm gonna stick it to, but I know this much. I'm gonna stick it right next to this one. Because this one, it says, today's agenda. 1. Chaos. 2. More chaos. 3. Did I mention chaos? So I kind of want to like have them stuck together, kind of like this a little bit. Kind of like that in some way. Is that a possum? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a possum. It looks like a possum. I'm so shady that stickers look like something my work gives out to motivate employees. Well, I get, yeah, they kind of do look like that, but they're a little more tongue-in-cheek. But hey, you know what I say? Grow a pair. Now, I do kind of low-key want to find somewhere to stick this at my work in the bathroom, but I literally don't know where. It says I only poop on company time. And I kind of want to hide it somewhere at work, you know, where no one really can see it unless you're like taking a deuce or something. I don't know. Like, I need to find somewhere to put that. Because that would be kind of funny. I just don't like that it's literally like upside down here where it should just be I only poop on company time, but it's instead of upside down, you know what I mean? Like that's a little that's kind of a little but I still like it. I kicked a possum one time. Fucker was digging into my trash cans and I had an outdoor cat to worry about. The fuck are my pets? No, fam. Dude, possums are not really that aggressive. No, possums get a bad rap, bro. If it was a raccoon, I could kind of understand that a little bit. But a possum, he just hissed at me and ran off. Well, yeah, yeah. I hissed at you too, you son of a like low key. That's a little fuck, man. I mean, bruh. I mean, come on now. You realize they're docile as fuck, and they're actually good to have around. They eat ticks and fleas and shit like that. Like, I literally have walked up to a possum one time and just went right up to it. It was like, "What's up, bro?" It just stopped and went like, you know, with his mouth open, being like, "Oh fuck." And I literally would just go down on it and just like scritch, and just pet it. And it literally would be like. It would kind of tense up, being like, what do I do? But I kind of like this. And then it would just kind of sit there. And then one time, I did that to a possum. I did have my dog with me at the time, but I gave it to one of my friends to be like, hold on to my boy. Ran up to the possum with my beer in my hand, and I just, like, did the same thing. And it just went like, and then, like, as I was scratching his, like, part of his back, his little butt, she just went, or he or she, I don't know what gender the possum was. It went, and just did that. It didn't bite me. It just literally rested its maw on me, and I was like, I just kind of sat there. I was like, then it like looked at me, and I just looked back after I stopped. I was like, okay, and just sat there like, what do I do? I don't know. How do I process this? Like I have never had that happen before. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of funny though. But because they're pretty chill, they're not going to be aggressive. I've done since then, kind of felt bad about it, to be honest. Well, yeah, I mean, because possums get a bad rap. Because I'm not even going to lie, like, if you ever seen one, they are honestly kind of cute. If you actually, like, kind of chill for them for a bit, they are kind of cute. I'm not going to lie, if I could, I'd totally have one as a pet. Just like a possum. And scream people to hit me with a broom. What the fuck? The fuck, Mornax? Huh? That is the most off-color thing I think I've ever seen you say. Is there some context I'm missing? Good thing it didn't bring skin could caught possum fever. Wait, is that a thing? Well, the thing is, the possum didn't even put any pressure. It literally just like it didn't even bite down or nothing. It just literally because I don't think it processed the fact that I was giving it scritches. And it was like, what? Yeah, tularemia. Tularemia. Well, I have never heard of that before. But luckily, possums are so usually chill and docile that I imagine that is a very rare thing to get because I have never actually heard of it before. But I'm intrigued now. What happens if you get it? Just out of weird oddball curiosity. Also called rabbit fever. Oh, rabbit fever. Okay. I think I actually know what it is now a little bit, just on the virtue that I've heard of it being called rabbit fever. Rabbit fever before. Pain skin ulcers at the right side and swollen lip glands. Oof. Is it possible to get it if like a rabbit scratches you, or like if you got scratched by one of those animals? Because I think I had that happen once as a kid with a rabbit. Like, because there's like this kind of loose rabbit that we kind of partly took as a pet-ish at one point. Because I think someone let it go because we asked around the neighborhood. They're like, yeah, we don't have any rabbits or anything, bro. Well, I don't know. So we just kind of kept it around. I mean, and then at one point, like, we had it inside a few times, but we usually just kind of let it hang out in the backyard. And I picked it up, just hanging out, letting it chill. And then I don't know what happened, but I wasn't even doing anything. I was just literally just like, hold on to it like this. And then it just went like, oh shit mode and it just started like, I'm just bolting in my hands. And it scritched me the fuck up. Like, so I do remember like a day later being kind of sick, not really terribly sick, but definitely being sick for a while because of that. Because it was a fever, and the injuries were a little not like ulcer like, but definitely kind of inflamed and shit, just because they were obviously not doing good really. And I don't know about the swollen lip gland thing. Probably, I don't really remember that part. I just remember just being like, miserable. So, I mean, I was like fucking, I don't know, like 5 or 6 or something. I do remember it was, I think, just before we got my first cat scooter, or at least around that same time. So it was way back in the day. It was like a long fucking time ago. I'm honestly kind of surprised I even remember as much as I do about that, to be honest. Because about that, yeah. I mean, I don't really remember being that like sick or nothing. I just remember, it just was, like, because I remember missing a few days of like school at the time, for sure. But yeah, I started kind of bouncing back a little bit because obviously mama being like, all right, kid needs medication. And I'm just like, I'm okay now for the most part. Yeah, my arm's kind of hurt, but I'm going to play a video game in my room. And mom be like, you're supposed to be resting. If you can play a video game, you can go to school. And I'm like, ugh. And I have to just like wait for her to go to work or leave or something. But the problem was she would be like, all right, I'm going to like go to work later, instead to make sure that you're like sleeping and stuff. I'll go at like, a certain time where she, would suspect I might wake up again or some shit or whatever. Or maybe like at least go to sleep or something. She would always do this weird shit where she like, the only way to get well is to literally just like be in your bed all the time. And it's like, nah. I mean, especially for medications, they can at least make you feel good enough, but I'm not just going to just lay there in my bed just bored. yeah, I'm at least gonna play video. It's get my mind off of it, you know. Like I'm not gonna like exert energy, but I'm gonna get my brain off of this shit. You know what I mean? So like, come on. I'm gonna go on my computer. I'm gonna play on my PlayStation or my N64 or whatever the fuck. I mean, I don't want to be bored. To be fair though, she did loosen up on that shit hella, you know, at a certain point. But she was kind of strict about that because to be fair, I did kind of fake being sick a few times just because I literally just didn't want to go to school. And I think she suspected shit. She was like, "You're staying in bed then." I was like, "Fuck." I'm like, don't do this to me, woman. Just like, you know, my mind, I'm just like feeling like Stewie. Blast! I've been foiled again. Vile woman! I shall have my revenge. But I kid though. I love Mama though. Though we'll say she had her moments. Okay, this is like too much of a ballad song like I thought it was. Oh my goodness. I thought that was gonna pick up. It's a good song, but just gonna switch it. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. It's a little too laid back. I get bored after taking me to school late. I mean, there were times I did do that where I'd like kind of bounce back later in the day and be like, all right, I'm actually feeling kind of all right. But then I would just go to school late and just kind of take the L and just be like, yeah, I just wasn't feeling good, but I'm feeling all right now. I mean, in high school, I did that a lot more, where I'd be like, I'll actually call up the administrative office, be like, hey, look, can you let my first and second period or, you know, teachers know that I won't be able to make that, but I'm going to be coming in and get a slip, but I'm going to try, you know, get up there, but I just need to, you know, I would kind of do that just, you know, so I wouldn't get too much in fucking trouble, you know. But luckily, and didn't really do that often. And it was just only a few times where I'm just like, okay, my mom's gonna ask why I'm like still here. I'm like, literally, I just am not feeling good. I'm gonna go to school, but I just need to get better really quick. I just have to. At a certain point, she did kind of respect that, being like, okay, I will. You know, just get to school when you're feeling better. It's 3 a.m. already. Oh, Jesus. That means it's a little after 1 for me. Yeah, it is. It's 1:05. Damn, it's already that shit. I thought it was a little earlier than that, to be honest. Well. Oh, boy. But you know what? Is that really like that big of a deal for someone like us? I see you in there on Phoebe's stream sometimes with streaming at this time. Or me. You know, like this is kind of a thing, isn't it? I will admit, I definitely at some point I'm gonna. You know what? I think a good opportunity is like once I come back from my trips in Montana to see my niece, I'm gonna probably hit my boss and be like, "Hey, do you think it would be better if I, you know, for me personally, just for sleeping schedule's sake, you know, I keep my schedule for what it is, you know, but I could do mids and mornings more. Like I come in at 11 and you know and help with that, or you know or mids like 3 to 11 or like 2 to 10. You know, like it's just one of those things where I'm like, you know, I think that would be better for me personally. So I'm just kind of like, I'll see what he asks about that because I'm gonna hit him up about that, and I need to hit him up about my kind of birthday weekend because it's I got at least like a day off, you know, that's in tandem with that. But I'm gonna ask him if it's just cool to have my weekend set for just the 15th, 16th, and the 17th. Just to have those days off, and at minimum, at least like the 16th and 17th, because obviously on 16th I'm gonna want a day off to recover. So I want to at least have that, And also, I know I'm probably gonna have family dinner and stuff too and shit, but I want to at least get that scheduled out with my mom and stuff. So there's a few different things that I actually need to do and I just thought about, but lovely. Gonna cool off my back. I feel you with that. I want to open the fucking window, but the goddamn smoky air is just not. It's not gonna make my rasp and feel better. Because I'm not gonna lie, until this like the smoke shit rolled in, it I I have not been having like weird tickly feelings in my throat and shit. Like every so often I've been getting that. I honestly, even this morning when I woke up, I was like, the fuck. And I know being stoned, bro, don't help, but I've never had that where I'm like coughing out like what the fuck. I look out, it's just fucking just thick. I'm like, that's why. I'm like, oh my god, ugh. It's fucked. Shitty. Some shitty walk shit, bro. Tell you what. Oi, oi, oi. I thought I had something brown up. I guess I did not. Well, let me just correct that situation. Speaking of, let's make the problem worse. Oh man, I even like screen capped like earlier when I was looking at the fucking like hair quality index and just seeing like just hell just all over the PNW. I'm just like, bruh. Man, this is what I get. I know. Have you seen it? Dude, it's insane. I think I might. Do I dare, like, go to work with a gas mask and just wear that? Even on the bus? Do I dare? Because I got it. It's over here. Do I dare? Do I do it? Freak people out. And I walk in. They're like, "Hey, what's up, man? What the fuck you wearing?" I should do it just for the memes. I think I will for the virtue of the memes. Just so I can see their reaction. I'm not even joking. I think I'm going to do that. I mean, I'm working tomorrow, so might as well. Honestly, depending on how thick and bad the air quality is, I might not. But if it is just as, if not worse, tomorrow, yeah, I might do it just at least for the memes. Yeah, oh yeah, I literally would just act casual and normal. They actually 100%, bro. Oh my god, I hope my boss is in there tomorrow. Oh my god, if he's there, he's gonna literally be like, "What the? Okay." I hate to say it, I don't know if I'm there at 5 or 4, but I'm just gonna play it safe and say I'm there at 4. But oh my god, dude. I'm okay. You know what? Just to see my boss's reaction, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it honestly, because I'm pretty sure he's gonna be there tomorrow. Plus, I need to talk to him about a few things anyway. About like make sure I have like some days off and set about some shit, and then about my birthday weekend, and then my trip in October. I'm gonna let him know that I'm gonna have a week-long trip, to see my niece who I haven't seen yet, blah blah blah. But I haven't set it stone with the dates yet. But I'm talking to my sister about it. I'll let you know and forward you that information as soon as I do. I mean, after fun bullshit aside, definitely gotta do that. Especially because I also have like the tube that goes into like a side bag or some shit. Oh my god. I need to see what people's reactions on the bus would be, on that one. They'd be like, "Why are you wearing that?" I'd just be like, "Fuck the smoke. I ain't trying to inhale plastics and death and fucking get cancer or some shit." Hell no. I'm just going hardcore with it because I'm playing it extra safe.
Also need to figure out how to get an earbud in there and make sure it stays in there while I'm wearing it too.
And also have my hat over it too. Just like it's just a normal thing that's just what I wear on a daily basis. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick just for a smidge. I shall return momentarily. Blah. Bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. I would say literally like last second, right before I was about to be like, all right, I'm done. I was like, well, my gut, wasn't bad, but it was a little like, little baby rumble that happened. Probably from the dog that I ate from last night. Probably from that glizzy. I literally only had like a glizzy last night because after these three folks came over, which is I got some weird mixed feelings about what happened last night. Honestly, with that shit, not even gonna lie. Like because I initially thought at least two of them were pretty cool as fuck. One of them ended up like having a weird like crash out on Logan or whatever, and had a back and forth and on him or whatever the fuck. The other one was cool as hell. Got her number, and she's pretty cool as hell. But near the end, where it would end up being like a borderline damn near all nighter again. Well, it kind of was. Ugh. Damn near 2 nights in a fucking row, where like I don't even know how to explain it. My brain is actually now just like processing like the timeline of all that shit. But at the end of it though, like the other chick was like cool. Like eventually was like, I just need to like go. I'm overwhelmed. I need to like just sleep and crash out. And I'm like, yeah, I feel it. And I've already been like kind of wanting to head out too, just in the sense that I need to go to sleep. But I just want to make sure y'all good and everything. And it just ended up being a whole fucking thing. Like, and then the other lady was just like being way too much, honestly, and even was like kind of roasting and kind of being, an asshole about some shit a little bit. Even to me, that I kind of didn't like. I noticed I was kind of like, what the fuck? I'm like, I ain't even trying to do nothing. Like, cause at one point they're like, she came and was like, hey, I heard from Sir someone that you like her a lot. I'm like, yeah, she's cool as fuck. I wanna, hang out with her. She's a vibe. Her and I vibe. She's a cool person to be a friend with. Well, I don't know. Well, what do you mean? Like, I think because I think she overheard me talking to Logan about being like, yeah, I think she's cool as hell. Like, we'll talk and just like, because at one point, like after I went to Vapor or something, he was like waiting in line. And he was like, he popped in my room real quick, and it's like he was like, I told you to let's get one of the numbers back. It's like, well, all right, fine, I'm doing that at least for that other chick, because she seems cool as fuck. Her and I've been clicking and vibing, and then it's like. He's like, all right, we'll do that. And I was like, all right, I did. So, I will say, it's like, I mean, I don't expect anything to come from it because we were, chilling, hanging out. And even, like, she roasted me, like, kind of out loud about it, where she's like, what the fuck you talking about? And I was like, she thinks that, like, and I even blurred being like, she's, like, inferring some shit. She's like, oh, like, we like each other or something. It's like, I like you, cool, but, like, I ain't looking to fuck. Like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not either. I just want to be cool. She's like, yeah, we're just being cool. What the fuck? Because we had another guy there, which, low-key kind of fuck him a little bit. He was kind of not really that much of a positive guy. I mean, it was fine enough, but it was, like, I don't know. I never talked to him that much because he ended up just like kind of doing coke in a corner, a couple people off and on as they were like kind of trading off and shit, of like, of different people kind of being invited to go over with that shit. So I didn't really interact with him that much. It came up to me eventually at a certain point, talking to me a lot, then like in between shit being apologetic, and I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, you're all right, bro. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know. But like I kind of see why he was like that though, and I don't know why, but to me, just it was weird. But I mean, I will say at least like the initial first impression with the Logan's buddy who ended up kind of crashing out, I thought was fine up until she crashed out, and I'm now like I don't even kind of fuck her now, which is so weird. It's such a complex thing because I like this other person is cool as fuck, and I'll always hit him up again and be like, hey, if you ever, like got a date, got a day off, or whatever, and or some shit, and I do, on these days, like, want to hang out again, I'll meet you at this bar or whatever if you like, and let's just chat it up because I thought you were cool. Unfortunately, so and so kind of, they had a falling out, because of some shit and this and that, but say a lot, man, I suppose. But hey, hope we could be cool. Colombia elected a furry to the Senate. What, the country of Colombia? Like an actual, like, out and out furry? There was at least at one point someone for the Congress in, I think, for Connecticut, I think, that was a furry. I don't know if he's in office anymore. Maybe he still is, but there was at one point where it was caught that he was actually a furry because he was at a furry con. And someone recognized him as as one of his constituents, and it was like, "What the fuck you doing here, bro?" And he's like, "I'm a furry. Like, what? Do you know me?" And it's just like, "Yeah, you're my congressman." And he's like, "Oh, you got me." Apparently, he's like kind of a good sport about it and all that. And especially when it came to like the crossover of like furries being like lumped in with the whole transparent shit that has been and still kind of is-ish going on with like the litter boxes shit and whatever. I'm surprised he wasn't even really ousted that much about it, but probably because he ain't in office anymore. But I don't know. He kept it a secret until 3 days before his election for his safety. So really, well, here, let me turn my Wi-Fi hotspot on since it's in a link, and I'll check it out on Discord. There we go. Just give it a sec. As soon as his phone starts blurping out with notifications, so I'll go check it out. Gemma Banyet, Malila Rage the Witching. Yeah, it's which is a pretty good song. I haven't got a chance to like react to or put it in my playlist yet. I remember like in the midst of these last couple nights of randomness, I do remember looking it up. I know it's on my watch history and shit. I hate to say it, I just don't remember much of it, so I need to like listen to it again and in a better mindset and not so sleep deprived. I mean, it's just one of those things where I'm like, what are you gonna do? You know, I don't know how or why, but it does feel like a 3-day weekend, despite it, like only being pretty much like 2.5 days. Ugh. Oi, fuck they. Oi, motherfucking they, I say. Bro's been banned pro, bro. Huh? Bro, make no sense, bro. Bro, what, bro? Bro, banned what? Wait, what, bro? Bro, you talk, bro, about, bro? My bro has been bro banned, bro, poor bro. Bro. My bro. Care to elaborate there, my guy? Like, what do you mean by this? Stop 2 gummies as spinning, bro. Well, so what? You banned yourself? What? What'd you do? Ah, man, a crick for fucking Friday is still in there. Ugh. Oh yeah, I just got text. Oh, it's from. Oh, you know, I was just talking about that later now. It's not from that story. Hold up. She just texted me back, being like, "Why'd you call me?" I was like, I don't think she remembers that when I asked for a number, I called her just so she see my number back, and I texted back. Okay, I'm gonna have to explain that real quick to her. Hold on. I'll be right back. There we go. There we go. I mean, I probably won't immediately respond back if she says something back, but I think I sent at least something pretty good. Just so no, it's like cool. Me, it was like I did that like right after I got your number, just so you had mine. that was why. And then I was like, I hate to say it because I'm terrible with names. You know, like what would that be? You know, like I hate to say, but it just was one of the times. So I can save it as the contact too, and then hopefully we hang out sometime because I think it feels fuck. Not flirtatious, nothing like that. Just keep it simple. Everybody gone. I'm whatever. Not a big deal. I mean, you know, who knows? Might part to it a little bit. I do need to grab at least like 2 things, which I think I could probably snag that pretty easily at around the corner. Even though it'll be a little bit more than like hitting the Winco up or some shit, but whatever, not a big deal. Because I'm pretty sure the buses are not really running anymore at this point. Burp. Yo, I had some devil. Well, What's kind of ironic is I don't even try. I just have. Ugh, as I'm like weird burp hiccuping. Close on the watch hours. Go look at the community post I posted earlier today. I'm literally like, oh come on, I'm like right fucking there because I'm like 10 watch hours away. At this point, I've probably eventually gotten over it, or maybe I'm like right at the point. Which, man, what a underwhelming little celebratory party, for that one. I'm not even gonna lie, because I want to at least set something up for that. So I'm thinking next week at some point. I'm thinking I'll at least do that. You know what? How about this for some of the committed people hanging out and shit? How about we do a little mini goal? We'll do like $10 cash ad. Because I got my guitar right there. I'll fuck around with it, even though it's got 4 strings and it's beaten up and shit. It's tuned up enough to where I can mess around with it a little bit and play around. Because I want to try to like create something. Because I want to like have a song that I want to create, for the old house before, like awake for it, right? And I want to at least have something for it. So I'm thinking, okay, I guess we're having some Carditos, all right. But I want to at least have something for that. So I don't know, maybe we can work something out. I honestly have no idea what the fuck the tuning is on it, so I might retune it, or at least have it in a tuning that I can play around with a little more. Here, let me do a Discord thing. White elephant in a room. Columbia swears in costumed. Wait, he literally was in a costume. He was in like a fursuit. Oh my god. He actually was. Oh my god. Holy shit, that is amazing. Anti-corruption activist, a senator. Luis Carlos Lula revealed themselves to be the Elefante Blanco just 3 days before the elections for his own sake. Now he's tackling gaffe from the Senate floor. The inauguration day was spectacular because nothing would have happened. I mean, is he actually a furry, or is he just, it's extremely hot inside it, but it still has to be done because I'll go to places the state doesn't go. Damn. Based. But, fuck yeah, I like this guy. I dig it. Though I kind of question if he's actually a furry or if he's just being, doing just practice in a way that is kind of furry leaning, but not completely. Like the inflatable costumes and shit. That's kind of like furry leaning a little bit, but it's, the people doing it, I don't expect to literally be furries. Though I have seen furries on them before, and they are there. It's like a furry that would be on his like e-bike, with his pup hood on and shit, just chilling, hanging out. I've talked to them. I think there was one time when I was streaming where we were chatting it up and hanging out and shit. So, I mean, hey, they're around. Including you. I just like how these just Corritos are just chilling in the background. Oh, you guys are this cold, you have sense? Let us see. Oh my god, it's just, Jesus, okay. There we go. Oh yeah, it's because the, oh yeah, this is the RFK one, isn't it? Oh, it just wants me to open Instagram instead. Wait, hold on. I think I can bypass that. I'm gonna see. Okay. Well, that's a song.
Reflex. Gay. You are homosexual.
You are homosexual.
No pause. Ain't say no extremely sus behavior, bro.
Extremely sus behavior, bro. What the fuck? Is there a way to replay it? Oh, it won't let me replay it. Come on. Come on. Let me replay the fucking thing. I didn't hear the whole goddamn shebang, you son of a bitch. Oh. Come on, you asshole.
Literally eat anything. So I don't have
But
I don't
even
have a
with
gag
your
reflex.
I don't have I don't have a gag reflex. Yeah, we know. You literally snorted cocaine off of literal toilet bowls, you disgusting fuck. You actual freak. Dude. Like, what? How is he alive, honestly? Can we just break that one down, to be fucking frank with you? Like, with this motherfucker, with how much of a quack he is, with how much he's just like, we don't need that. You just need to have, like, your poo water in the Dude, honestly, I no offense to anyone else in the world, literally everybody else in the world when it comes to spastic dysphonia or dysphoria and shit, like, dude, hey, exception of the rule, okay? We can all make fun of this motherfucker. Fuck him. I literally and basically got pandemics, measles, and all that. I literally have diuretic lettuce and shit. This could work out video. Oh my god. I'm literally stranded with my children in a river that is literally full of chemicals. And also, yeah, do some of that blue stuff or whatever that makes your teeth and tongue all blue. And because I don't have a guy who makes reflex. God, fuck that piece of shit, man. Anyway, let's get the music back up a little bit. Fucking Christ. I thought Kid Rock shit would freak people out more. I was so confused. It doesn't, because there's a weird segment of people that just like him for various different bullshit. Meats, ferments, roadkill, raccoon penis, whale heads, the head of a whale. Honestly, how in the fuck did he get a whale head? What was it? What was the whale that he caught? Like a sperm whale or some shit? Or he found like a dead one and literally beheaded it and... Like, what the fuck? You know, out of everything, you know what I mean? Like, how do you... I hate to say, I kind of admire the just actual caucasity and audacity and the weird innovation and power of being able to just, like, find a will and way to do that. And... I mean, like, does he literally just have the materials to just, like, chainsaw a whale's head off and then fucking just latch it like a Christmas tree on the hood of his fucking truck or some shit or whatever the fuck? I mean, bro. Did you try raccoon soup? No. Why would I do that? Ew, yeah. Yeah, that's just, no. This is wrong, bro. Come on now. I hate when I find a dead sperm whale head and have no way to transport its head back. I know, right? I'm surprised he didn't go like that old school route where that one town in Oregon blew up a whale. Please tell me people know about this story. It was like in the 80s or some shit. Because the city at the time literally didn't know what the fuck to do with it. And they're like, well, we can't really just, like, you know, cut it up and break it down because it's already fermented and bloated. It would literally explode. And plus the smell was so bad when you got it close enough to it where it literally just, like, you know... It was just, like, not possible. Like, And the thing is, eventually they're going to have to get to it anyway because it would eventually just explode on its own. So, oh, it was in 1970? Oh, I thought it was in the 80s, but I guess it was in the 70s, in 1970. Okay. I thought it was a little later than that, but it was in 1970. Okay, well, cool. But, yeah, it was in Florence, Oregon. I forgot. Yeah, I knew it was, like, in that area, but yeah, it's in Florence. And, basically, they, like, they were pretty much like, well, let's get some of the construction crew, because I think there was, like, like some mining / some other shit going on, because they had a bunch of fucking dynamite. And they're like, well, obviously, if we shoved enough of it around it and kind of near it, in it a little bit, it will fucking, it'll just literally become mist, right? 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 You know what I mean? That's the idea. No. And Inky, yeah, you already kind of spoiled it, but yeah, whale got everywhere. Where surprisingly, no one got injured, but they literally were sprayed with particulates, chunks, blood, all sorts of shit on pretty much like on the most immediate crowd. And then people, from other parts, or more distant that were watching saw that shit, and they started seeing it rain down like kind of closer and closer to where they were, and they just started fucking running. Like like the chunky whale apocalypse is descending upon them like the arrows of Xerxes on the 300 or some shit, bro. And they're like, oh fuck, we gotta go. And dude, fucking people's cars were crushed. Someone's windshield got caved in. Like, dude, I think someone like did get somewhat injured because a big chunk hit them, but it wasn't like a fatal or threatening injury or nothing. I think they sprained their arm or whatever because of it. But basically, it literally was just like a pandemonium, and everything got coated in that shit. It was just bad, dude. It was chaos. There's video of it too. Okay, we're looking it up. Hold on. We are looking at it like right now. Where is it? And this is, I think, with Paul Newman or Paul Lindman. Poor Paul Lindman. Sprained arm and covenant whale guts. Yep.
It had to be said, the Oregon State Highway Division not only had a whale of a problem on its hands, it had a stinking whale of a problem. What to do with one 45-foot...
I love how newscasters, even back in the day, were literally just, like, still making little puns. A nasty whale of a problem. Dude, sometimes certain things just never change.
Dead on arrival on the beach.
Oh my god, this is actually even more diabolical. What?
A problem on its hands. It had a stinking whale of a problem. What to do with one 45-foot, 8-ton whale dead on arrival on the beach near Florence. It had been so long since a whale had washed up in Lane County, nobody could remember how to get rid of one. In selecting its battle plan...
They don't remember. I love that. The little, like, tongue-in-cheek, like, yeah, these dumb fucks don't even remember. They haven't had it happen forever. They didn't write it down in the books.
The Highway Division decided the carcass couldn't be buried because it might soon be uncovered. It couldn't be cut up and then buried because nobody wanted to cut it up, and it couldn't be burned. So dynamite it was, some 20...
So you heard that? Like, one, no one really wanted... Like, no one really remembered the old school shit. And then for two, they couldn't bury it because it would just get washed out, and then the corpse would still be there because of the fucking ocean and shit. You just can't really do that. And then also, nobody wanted to cut the fucking thing up and be like, yeah, we're dicing this up, but then we can bury it in that way, so it's a lot easier. They were all definitely drunk. Dude, fucking for real. Classic Oregonian dumbassery. Dude, you know what? It might be some dumbassery, but it's our Oregonian dumbassery, man. Like, I mean, I can't help it. This is some, you know, Oregonian shit, bro. But it's also like some country bumpkin, like, yo, watch this, hold my beer. Let's get a half-ton of TNT and blow up a whale, bro. You can't tell me some, like, Louisiana and yokel chucklefuck rednecks want to do the same if a whale washed up on their, like, beach boondock fucking properties. Like, there's a goddamn whale or Flatus. Yo, Cletus Flatus, you don't shut it down, y'all, you know, remember when Grandpa on the mine got a bunch of TNT in, you just go blow the fucker up. Get some beers, son. Just watch it go boom, boom, go, yay. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell me that's some, you know, like, some redneck shit. Even though it's in fucking Oregon. So, I don't know, make it make fucking sense. A half ton, man. It's insane. Here, let's just get to the explosion. Oh, God. Oregon encounters whale. Let's blow it up, boys. Watch this. Hold my beer. Yay! Notice how everyone right now is like, oh, yeah, look at that. Listen to their change of their voices and how they start feeling about this. In fact, I think it's just starting to.
Our cameras stopped rolling immediately after the blast. The humor of the entire situation suddenly gave way to a run for survival as huge
run for survival.
Pieces of meat passed high over our heads while others were falling at our feet. The dunes were rapidly evacuated as spectators escaped both the falling debris and the overwhelming smell. A mile from the blast site was the target of one large chunk.
Oh my God.
Literally smashed. Fortunately, no human was hit as badly as the car. However, everyone on the scene was covered with small particles of dead whale. As for the success of the effort, the seagulls who were supposed to clean things up were nowhere in sight, either scared away by the explosion or kept away by the smell. That didn't really matter. The remaining chunks were of such a size that no respectable seagull...
I love how that kid was really, like, walking away like he just, like, got hit from a fucking war zone, just, like, PTSD. You just, like, thinking the kid, you know, it, like, in his kid's minds, just, like, you know, that, like, ringing. You're just, like, ringing, and it's like, oh, fuck. And the kid's just walking around, like, after all the chaos, just being like, Mom, I don't know where you are anymore. I can't smell or hear you. And they just, like, looks over, sees her just covered, just, like also in her own pew, just be like, the smell. Such a fuck up. I know, that car got absolutely destroyed. Marked. Obliterated. TNT. That whale is mighty. TNT. Went down on no steel. TNT. Old Seven's car can't handle it. Watch it get crushed. My God, dude, what the fuck? Gotta love it. Gotta fucking love it. I also liked how the music stopped because I was doing that. Because I was playing that video. Car's not okay. Yeah, that car got fucked, man. At least for now, I'll turn the Wi-Fi hotspot off to save up my data. Damn. Hey, what's up, man? That sounds just like, oh, you want to blow shit up, huh? Yeah, literally like a decade later, it's like, hold up, let me cook for a minute. And then it's like, hold my beer.
let's show nature how it really shows how, what the fuck was I trying to say? Let me show you how nature really shows the fuck off and blow shit up, huh?
Because even in Montana at the time, my dad, remember seeing like all the ash being like 2 feet thick, or not feet, inches and shit. Like it was like snow because of how much of the fucking ash was like everywhere. And my mom at least was visiting her dad that moved up in Oregon around at the same time, so she kind of remembers seeing it, when she was in Portland at the time. Mother Nature's Revenge for the Whale. Dude, if that's what it is for a whale, imagine Mother Nature's revenge, for the shit we're doing now. On top of what she's already doing. But, I will say, though, it's not the fault of all man. I mean, we all have our little minutia of tribulations, but it's because of the virtue of our, powers that be that basically just like, yeah, who gives a fuck? And it's like, you know what? Maybe a lot of us actually do. And in fact, even orcas are having their revenge. Organic berries, toast to sea, sits right naturally, lets local tribes harvest them. Yeah, because I think, after the incident in Florence, I think that's, what we decided to at least make sure we had going on. I think we set some standards where we can at least do some basic shit like that. Where are you from, bro? Well, considering we're talking about, like, the whale that blew up in Florence, Oregon, and being a little silly Oregon dumbassery that has happened before. It's dumbassery that's happened in this country, but it's at least our dumbassery. Yeah, we're just Oregonians. We just like to blow shit up sometimes when it washes up on shore. Boring. I know. Yeah, where's the fun in just living in a hell pit? You know what I mean? Come on, ain't it nice? All the guys except Ball and Moloch are probably really pissed off at us right now. Yeah, pretty much. Do I even dare to take a peek at how bad it is even at night? Lame. And I could still barely see a lot of that hill. I can see the lights and pretty much the silhouette of the hill. And the vague silhouette, because of the lights of some of the trees, I kind of give it a layer that makes it look like a hill. But it's kind of borderline some 2D shit out there with all this bullshit. Here, even with I think that's something I'll just go to the image, right? Oh, goddamn, I have to literally load. Oh, wait, maybe not. Kind of. Maybe. But see that red blob? All that? That's Oregon and Washington. And then kind of ish California. Ish. And it's bad. It's kind of fucked. It's kind of giga-fucked a little bit. Used to be the Eden of the PNW, but now it's the health spawn of death. I mean, even like with how like shit's been going. I mean, I don't know if you could kind of see, despite the lighting, all that yellow. That's off the coast of California. Like California isn't really getting hit too bad. In fact, they only have like one fire that's in like outside of Sacramento. Well, not like directly outside of in that area. So they're surprised they're not really getting hit with much. But Utah, like between like a little bit of Idaho and fucking, and then with Oregon and Washington, like a part of Eastern Canada, their fires aren't really as bad anymore. But in Western Canada now, in British Columbia, now it's fucked. That's just all of the PNW. Cascadia is basically just a hellscape now. Oh, so awesome, you know? Such a lovely thing. Baal Moloch, and even like Cthulhu, it's probably being like, oh yes, let this wood continue. Let it grow as it is with its burning and death and chaos. And also, the agents of the Chaos Wizards and shit like that, and Lord of Chaos, God of Chaos. I mean, there's that too. At least that one's more of just like, I'm just here for the love of the game. You know what I mean? I don't care like how circumstances are. I'm just here for the love of the game. So I can kind of embrace that. I will admit, I kind of have a little like Chaos Wizard embracement. And so I got that little Embrace Chaos sticker that I got over here. Because it's like, yeah. You gotta do it sometimes, right? I mean, when the world is in chaos, sometimes you gotta, try to have your own order within the chaos. But you gotta also embrace it, in order to attempt such, right? You can't fight the chaos. That just creates more of it. Cthulhu is gooning to this shit. Oh yeah, he's literally in the background of all of his tentacles, like, oh yeah. That's what he's doing right now. Man, I cannot wait to get this little like nook out of my neck. It's still like, it's pretty much mostly gone. There's like one like singular nerve tendon or some shit that just like refuses to just like loosen itself. Because it's like fine right now, but if I'm trying to do this, because I know if I were able to, or fucking like, I could probably get it, but it's like, it's still a little too like, eh. Sometimes you just gotta grow up hair. That is true. That's also true. I'll say, I want to at least try to do a little celebratory, little plant thing here. And also, you know what? I mean, I mentioned it earlier, but no one really, like, said my bad. Like, because I was thinking about doing a little goal about, popping this guitar up. I just won't do it for free. You know what? I will do it for free. But I want to at least say that, like, I want to try to get something planned out for a little celebratory, thing. I don't want to do too much of a celebratory thing because, I mean, applying for the eligibility thing doesn't mean it's guaranteed. But because I think I might have to at least, like, wait a certain time period before reapplying for it, I think, if that's the case. And, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, everything that about the channel outside of like some age restriction shit or like some minor copyright stuff that doesn't really affect anything that much. Outside of maybe those particular streams, let's say, am monetized, wouldn't be. And maybe with age restricted ones, it's more limited because that, limits it a little bit. But, I mean, adjustments would be made. But at least it's still kind of like, I don't know. Still have to see. It's still a weight game. It's not a real celebration until like it's confirmed, and it's like, all right, boom. Because then we get some memberships, we can actually get some true gold shit going on. We got super chats, there's other memes now. So I will say it's a little bit of a. It's going to be interesting to see what it's going to look like. I guess I should turn my Wi-Fi hotspot back on just so I can get like at least like a basic tuner with this fucking thing. I'll just wait for it to turn itself back on for a minute. There we go. I like how it takes a while for the first time, but after that, it usually is like pretty quickly streamlined on it. Oh, come on, don't be slow on me. Don't be doing this. Come on. It's 11 a.m. here. Well, I imagine there are different time zones. Just after 2 for me. Oh, don't tell me. Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay, I just had to literally kind of pop in and out. Okay, cool. We can actually kind of do something with it. Yeah, we'll just do that. It's in D sharp. Well, let's put it in D. Well, no, let's go down to. Yeah, we'll go to E, I guess. If I'm already that close to E. G sharp. Yeah, it's in like a weird sharp tuning. I guess sounds like a half step low. Ah, I thought you were gonna stay on, you bitch. Oof, hold on. Well, I might actually drop that to D, but. I guess I'll keep it at E. Well, let's make sure that it's. I could tell that it might not want to stay in tune, but I think I got it enough. I think just a smidge. There, I'll turn that Wi-Fi off. Just one more time. I know I had a pick over here. Where did that go? Oh, there you are. But I want to at least try to, like, as I was mentioned from earlier, I want to, like, kind of create something a little bit like that isn't like uppity, but I do kind of want to have a little part of it being that way. But because I want like a little bit of a, I don't know, you know, I've never been like a ballad guy, but I think to challenge myself, especially with basically a high bass now, because there's only 4 strings on this fucking thing. I'm like, maybe I have to challenge myself. Not that. Yeah, I need to make sure I mute that. I don't know. There's some things that I think I could work with a little bit. I especially want to make sure I can get some lyrics in, especially to kind of go in tandem with it. How much you pay for guitar? Fuck, it's been so long. This one's been around for a while. I'd say, if I remember, probably like $200. I mean, it was kind of a guitar center guitar, and I was looking to get at least a new acoustic, and I wanted to at least get one that was at least good, but still kind of on the cheap end. And it's kind of at this point my little like folk punk fucking guitar now, because I mean, I don't know, like I mean, it kind of speaks for itself a little bit. I feel like, you know what I mean? It kind of speaks for itself. In fact, I know I got a. Oh, there it is. I also got the Operation Inflation thing going on, and I have this. Okay, hold on. I know I got a tool for that somewhere, because I just realized I kind of want to get this string off. I forgot that this thing was kind of here. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it, whatever. I mean, it's been so long because I've had this damn thing for a while, but I even have one of the stickers on the head right here too. Little blue star, but I don't know. Eventually I'm gonna get this thing reinvested a little bit, and there's also like, I don't know what happened, but at some point, you know, when I was in the garage of my old place, that kind of happened. So I know there is a way to where I could probably go to, you know, a music store or like a music shop and probably get that at least somewhat fixed. But it doesn't really impact the sound of it too much, you know, but it does at least, I don't know. I mean, because especially where I have it laying, you know, because where it sits at, where that damage is, I don't think it really does make much of a difference. So, I don't know. Maybe I might just leave it, just put a sticker over it. Or play by yourself. Mostly, but I did get classes with it for a little bit, but not for that long. Kind of interesting doing it with only 4 strings, but like I said, she needs to get a little TLC. But before I do that, though, I'm definitely gonna keep it like this, just on the verse, at least trying to make at least one fucking song and kind of making at least one little basic recording and stuff. You know, basically kind of be like a one-time thing. Yeah, like, but I don't know. I'm trying to, because I want to kind of do it in somewhat of a slightly different tuning. So I'm thinking like a drop D, but I kind of do like where it's at too. But I don't know. I could switch it up slightly, because I don't want to be in just like standard tuning with it, you know, like this. I kind of want to switch it just a bit, but I don't know. Because I'm also thinking like I want it to be more of like a ballad thing anyway, and I'm not the biggest ballad guy anyway, but I mean, I'm sure whatever kind comes into mind would be good, but I want to at least try to figure that out. So I'm like, I'm thinking maybe we could probably figure a thing or two out. I kind of like that first part. I don't know if it get. I don't like that little too like blah, blah, you know. Maybe I should try to avoid that at least for this. I kind of want to at least do something with that, but. Desperado song? Well, no, but even if I knew it, I probably couldn't really do it with this. I literally have only 4 of these fucking bitches. I mean, it's been a while when it comes to a lot of different songs. I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to what I've learned and know, I'm a little rustic on some shit, and at least with this particular guitar, I wouldn't be able to mess around with it. I could get another one because my friend has his acoustic that I could play with, but his action on that one is a little bit more tense and high, where it's a little harder to kind of grip and shit. While this one's a lot more soft and easier. But like, cause I could do covers of some songs, at least I know. I mean, even with this one, despite it being like in its slow tuning, I mean, there's one song called "You'll Never Keep Us Down" by Hazel Dickens that I pretty much know by heart. But you kind of need the upper strings to play it, because I mean, the lower ones here are pretty much the rhythm part, because it literally just goes like. That's pretty much mostly what it is. I mean, that's pretty much just like basically the whole core of it. It's actually, despite being a folk song, is really kind of strangely kind of a punk song. The original song isn't in that format, but if you kind of make your own flair to it, it easily becomes like that very quickly. And I really would love to kind of do at least not just a folk punk version, but just straight up a full like punk version of it too. But the higher notes, especially when it comes to the main progression, because it's literally just E, and then it's A, and it's a B minor power chord, and then it goes like, you know, and shit like that. I mean, you know, but with all that, and every so often like a little G minor thing to kind of fill up, because it kind of plays into all that. Like, you could easily like do all sorts of shit with these upper strings that I don't got. So it's like one of those things where it's a little bit more fun to play around with when you can kind of actually play around with some other stuff because it's a very simple and easy, like kind of like a 3 progression power chord kind of song. And that's being a Americana like folk song too. It's the Bedazzled Cap. Yeah, this thing. Did you just have a nickname for every cap that I got now? See you, man. Take care. Well, you have a good one. I'm noticing this little string likes to kind of pop a little, and I'm thinking of trying something like lead I want to do with this. Trying to think of some different little things to play around with because I kind of have a base idea of something I want to work with here, but I'm like, mostly this part at least. Kind of just try to build it a little bit from there, but I'm just like, I mean, I can't like ponder obviously for the little basics of this, but because I want to try to at least like have, at least in my mind of the song I'm thinking about with this is, I don't know, like I have a weird 3-part song. Not long. I mean, at least I'd say, give or take, maybe have 2-ish minutes collectively. At most, at least. Because I don't want it to be a long song, but I also want to at least have, I don't know, like a weird triptych within it, with like every verse and between like bridges and, and shit to be at least a little, like slightly different from me shit. So, I mean, I'm thinking maybe at least for the first part, it would be a little bit more like uppity with, and even just do it a little differently anyway, but then at least with like the second and third part, you know, becoming a little bit more of a ballad part, but even maybe being heavier too at some point, but just on the virtue of just like emotion factor, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where I want to kind of figure that part out because I kind of am pinballing some things here, I think. But I just want to, because it's a little easier because it is just 4 strings, but it does make it a little bit challenging because it narrows down when you, like, what you got to work with, you know, to an extent. Play something. I literally have been, I'm just creating what's in my mind, bro. Yeah. Wrong chord. Oop. And again, it's a little narrowed down with having just this little 4-string fiasco. Let's try to kind of fuck around with a little something different here. Probably should have just power chorded that for the first part. I said that last little bit, but that was fine. Just kind of fucking around straight. Yeah, I think I kind of got to do something here with this. Oh, that's where it is? Oh, fuck me. Ah, almost. There it is. Oh, where is it? Okay, that's where it is. Yeah. Man, it's been so long since I kind of played that song, but also usually when I kind of play that, it's on a bass, so it's a little easier. It's a little bit more tricky doing this because I know there's a different way to play it, but I've always just learned it for the bass way, which is just, I guess is that kind of where it's at, but it's a little bit more trickier because it's a little bit more, I guess it's good practice for kind of be a little bit more precise. Again, a little better with it is. Honestly, in a strange way, it's good. A little bit of practice. I like that little song, Katusha. Pretty fun, but simple little riff to play. But need a little break from it though, just for a smidge. I also like how very quietly there's been music just kind of playing in the background too, just a little bit, ever so quietly. But now we got that. How long we're doing that for? You know what? You got like 20 minutes of that. Yeah, a little some. I initially was thinking about making that a goal, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm kind of itching a little bit too much for it. It's an acoustic too, so considering how late it is, I don't want to be like that fucking loud. But you know what? Especially, once the monetization factor comes into play, I definitely want to at least be like, hey, we'll make a goal. I mean, if someone wants to, and then, if we want, we can, play something. But we just got to, like, keep it simple, keep it short. Like, maybe I'll say, like, first 10 bucks gets you at least, like, 10 minutes, but then after that, like, every $5, like, 5 minutes, but it's a good, it's a goal thing. But it's only limited to a certain extent, because obviously I ain't gonna do it fucking forever. You know what I mean? I have no idea, but the back of my head is itchy. Specifically, like, right at the back of my head. I do not know why, but it is. There we go. Get this little bad boy rolling. Also, make sure you're not going to clog on my ass. That would not be approvable. There we go. There we go.
There we go.
What are little things we got cooking for us, chat? I'll say, I mean, how do we feel about that, you know, El Sayed dub, if anyone's been paying attention to that shit. Oh my god, I did see this, like, video of, like, this, like, news dude, like, a national, like, news anchor, I think for, like, ABC or some shit. And I'm not gonna lie, it was, like, unironically the most flustered, the most, like, weird, like, I don't give a fuck improv, like, I don't care if this affects my job, I just literally don't give a fuck kind of shit thing that he was doing. Crumpling papers around, being like, so guys, yeah, okay, so, just, it literally looked like fucking a mess. I was like, and this is like in the last like hour before it was called for El Sayed, and I was just like, oh my god, dude, what the fuck is going on? Everyone was like all in on this shit. I was like, damn. And at the end of it, once it was finally called, he was like, all right, can I get the fuck out of here? He was like finding every excuse to just be like, get me off this fucking shit so I can leave and go home. I was like, damn, bro. You know what? Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Get to my Wi-Fi hotspot back on again. Give it a second for this fucker. But, because shit's kind of hilarious. I mean, I'm honestly surprised the dude committed for so long. Because I was seeing Vashu his stream, that's where I saw it, and he was sitting there quietly, like, just staring at the screen with this look of like, I'm done, but also like, bruh, like, holy shit. Don't tell me it's this close. And frankly, I guess while I wait too, I even had a take where my friend Ripsy was mentioning, you know, some of the updates of it, and I made a hot take being like, you know what? If El Sayed loses, Israel rigged it. APAC and Israel rigged it, bro. They rigged it with their shit. And he came back being like, how so? Michigan has some strong voter laws. And I'm like, look, bless his heart, honestly. Bless his sweet heart. Because, dog, we're in an era where laws are just dead. Okay? Like, when it comes to the upper class, especially when it comes to Israel and the Trump administration and their influence and shit, like, yeah, bro, like, law don't apply anymore. Okay? Like, do you think they give a fuck about that? I mean, you know, despite the laws of Michigan, like, we're in the world of, like, crime syndicate, family, organizational shit running things with, like, Zionist, you know, tendencies all interwebbed in it all. Like, I mean, come on, bro. I hate to say it, man, but it's like, dude, I don't trust our system, period. Even in these states that do have some of these strong laws on it, because, like, dude, it's all corrupted. It's all compromised. Like, I mean, there's, what are you going to do besides just, you know, play dirty too? Honestly, that's how I feel about it. I literally would be like, nah, fam, we're playing dirty on this shit. Because, I mean, it's, at a certain rate, you kind of got to, you know, like, because what are you going to do? Just let, you know, like, let the opposition just walk all over you and just be like, well, I guess we'll just be better next time and then rematch. No, play fucking dirty. Be like, nah, I'm actually going to be like punching your dick while you're like trying to stomp on me or whatever after your victory lap. Like, oh, how about that, bitch? Like, you gotta play dirty a little bit in order to make things better, honestly. That's kind of how I feel about it to a certain element. Not to the average person, but at least when it comes to this fucking system, yeah, like it's bullshit. Luckily, at least they'll say it did squeak it regardless. So I mean, hey, it wasn't rigged, folks. But I mean, it still kind of was, in my opinion. But you know, it's even what people like Kyle Kalinske from like Secular Talk and others have said. Like, you kind of have to make it too big to rig, and that's a part of trying to play dirty too, is to be so big that you can't be rigged. I mean, so there is, like but you got to take whatever option or whatever is fucking available for you. In fact, even challenge the shit if you lose, and especially if it's like a squeaker, you're like, nah, I demand a recount. I demand to actually see if this is the actual officiality of this results. Like, no, I don't believe it. Play dirty. I mean, that's how I feel about it, at this rate. Like, we can't really afford to just, have some average town like, we're better than this kind of shit. Like, given the circumstances as it stands right now, it's probably more beneficial / at least arguably maybe preferable to do so. Just a little bit. We all getting a little quiet in here now. Is that what's happening? Be a little bit of a bummer to, wrapping up like that. Come on. We all know we've got our freedoms. You've got your freedoms, folks. But sometimes it demands a little bit of an advancement to you, folks. As I'm saying and letting you know that there's obligations, a duty to the realm and to society, folks. I just found out. Yeah, I always have to throw a Trump bit in a little bit. I always gotta do it at least once a stream, or at least a couple times a stream. But I think I'm thinking about grabbing a little bit of foo. Then won't do a clean stream, but do some stuff. Find a little film to watch. I'm kind of wondering what channel I get myself into, because there's a few things I kind of want to get back into a little bit, or at least watch because I haven't seen yet. So, I have to figure that one out, honestly. I don't want to catch myself doing one of those. What's it called? Fucking what's it called? I think it's called okay, now I'm blanking on it, because it's like basically the principle of that you have so many options that you basically spend more time trying to find an option more so than actually just settling for one. Because at least when it came to, like, for example, things like a Blockbuster, you were limited what just they had on stock and what that was there. When it came to renting shit out and stuff. But now, these different platforms and streaming services, shit, like, it pretty much makes it endless options for renewal, and you end up in a weird way spending more time scrolling, finding what the fuck you want to watch, more so than actually watching something. Because there's just like all sorts of shit. You'd be like, yeah, I might watch that. I haven't seen that in a long time. I might think about it. And you scroll for some shit and you're like trying to find something new, but nothing really strikes. And you're like, well, let me go over here. Same shit happens. And you're like, well, let me go on this platform that I know we got right now. Oh, there ain't nothing there. For YouTube movies or something. Oh, there ain't nothing there. Like, it ends up being like you get caught in this fucking, like loop. Where instead of just picking something, where even if it doesn't quite strike you, it's still kind of at least something that perks, and it's like tickling you in some way. It's like, instead of just going for that, it's just like, we are like, what's something I like really am like wanting to like check out or something. And it's like, well, just check that fucking shit out. In fact, arguably, what you want to look at later might even come up, or even at least strike your fancy or pop in your brain or something, you know, or the algorithm will eventually give it to you. Like, I mean, it will happen, but you just, you know, we kind of lost the idea of being able to just pick a fucking thing. That's why I'm like glad that I got into the Terrifier series a little bit, and once the fourth one comes out in theaters, I think I'm gonna check it out in theaters. Not gonna lie, because I kind of love that shit, and I'm kind of excited about, from what I've heard, about what the fourth one's gonna be about, and I'm just like, ooh, get into why Art the Clown is who he is as Art the Clown and shit. I'm just like, oh fuck yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be fucking awesome. I mean, I'll say. I mean, it's not like I, you know, ain't finding shit, but also because I know so many people, Rose too. In fact, I need to probably hit him up and be like, yo, I know you've been wanting me to see some films, some shows, stuff. Can you remind me? Because I need to like get a list down for one, and for two, it's like, because I've had not just him but other people being like, you know, hit me up and like, yo, you should watch this, check this out, and it's like, I can't absorb all this. I like literally need like a little mini notepad where I just write shit down, where it's like people recommending me stuff, like basically, you know, and maybe I should like organize in like, these are like movie recs, these are like fucking song recommendations, this is like TV show / streaming show recommendations, it's like a channel or / YouTube shit, streamer shit, miscellaneous, and then just that. You know, I don't know. Or like, I probably actually ironically kind of need that. Because there's so many times where people will recommend me shit, and I will admit, I ain't gonna fucking remember it. Unless it's like, you know, something that's more really up direct my alley, I suppose. But I mean, I just kind of feel shitty just not being able to like do that for like every little fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like I you know, and that's why I feel like I need like a little notepad for myself or some shit like that. Little pen notepad. I'm like, all right, hold up, let me write the shit down. Wouldn't be a bad idea, at least. So speaking of, I want to at least find some donk to whip up, smoke a nice little bowl, enjoy my nice little brew with a film, and then hopefully the next time I get an update on my like watch hour shit with all that stuff, like we'll have a little celebratory thing for a minute when it happens, but we'll have to figure something out for that. That's for sure. You know, I know that one of my friends has a free day next week coming up where we can go to the ocean, and I know my friend who I think probably against the betterment of his health went to the beach. And not just that, but he also like went to Mount Neogahani, like near Manzanita Beach in Oregon, and hiked that shit. Apparently, I'm just like, I thought you were just going to the coast. You hiked a fucking mount, like homie, like. I mean, just go to the beach and just like, I mean, I know you want to like do all that, but like, why not we do that with friends next week? Like, you kind of murked yourself. And honestly, even though we were still like, even after last night / early mornings shenanigans, we were kind of like, are we even really doing this? And I was kind of like, really, like, shouldn't I be like, no, we should fucking probably try shit up. But then at a certain point, I'm like, honestly, I don't think we should. Like, we just gotta rest up. I mean, let's try to at least get somewhere away from this shit to some degree. But if we can, like, we'll try. But like, I can't say how I'm gonna feel because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not doing good. And you know, I definitely in my own recovery. But man, that ocean's calling me so bad. And also the pictures he sent, though, I noticed that some of them were a little cloudy, and I'm like, uh-oh. Even with the air quality and shit, even on our coast here, it's like, yeah, it's a little better, but it's not good there either. I think at least the Coastal Mountain Range helps with, you know, stopping some of that at least, but still, it's just like, ugh, gross. I suppose hopefully next week will be a lot better, especially with air quality. So hopefully it's not too bad.
I think I actually might hit my little boy up while I'm doing last little sick shit over here. Just check on him.
Sure, he's doing okay, but you know, always gotta check on the homeboy. In the the beans too. Because those old doggos are with him. But it looked like they had a good little adventure time. They looked like they were happy little things being on their adventure. I'm sure even tomorrow they're going to be pooped the fuck out. I'm sure I might wake up to them eventually coming home tomorrow at some point, and I'll be like, hey, what's up? And then all the doggos just like barge in and be like, I'm surrounded by beach beans that are tight as fuck. I will admit, I'm probably going to be like, no one of you are like, I'm just going to like wrap myself around them and be like, oh, you're mine now. Just be like, no. You was mine. But, anywho, I'm going to at least call it good for the rest of the little evening. I think, honestly, funny enough, though, I probably did achieve that watch hour time for those last 10 hours just on this virtual stream. Because I've been going on for like damn near 3.5 hours, and with those last little 10 hours, with all the viewership, I think collectively it got hit. But I still got to wait to YouTube all day. So hopefully at some point we'll figure something out with that. Make something out. Even we'll spitball it at one point when we get some, people popping in, and we'll be like, hey, yo, let's spitball some shit and do the sub-tour thing. Kind of help to get a little bit more growth and all that, see what happens, but at least for now, though, I'm calling it good, the growth I did for tonight. So, peace the fuck out, and of course, I shall see you all on next one, which will be a lovely smoky day after work, which, lovely. We shall see what happens, but sayonara, my miles. And yes, of course, they are a bunch of cuddle buddies, and I'll sure guarantee that. Vito, not so much, but Jazzy absolutely is. She's a chompy. But anyway, peace of fuck.